If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Hi. I'm loving this time that you and I are spending together, Madeline. I think you got a message. I heard the vibrate. Okay, let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please keep sharing the live, hitting the like button. Help us get to 30,000 likes. Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, on the count of three, everybody, fetus deletus. 1, 2, 3. Fetus deletus. Poof, and gone. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Oh, my goodness gracious. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? And next up, we are on a speed run this morning. I mean, this is great. This is great. We're just speed running it. I think all the Trumpers are just, let me be very clear. I think the Trumpers are too scared to talk to me, and rightfully so. But if there's a Trumper here who thinks that they can combat my intelligence, feel free to try your best. Step right on up. Let's do a little carnival game, right?
Yes,
Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request, and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Please keep tapping on your screen. Help us get to 50,000 likes. And again, if you voted for Donald Trump and you have an inkling of intelligence behind that empty brain of yours, please join the guest request and let's have a chat. I'm sure you won't because I've never met a smart Trump supporter. Would you shut up for a minute? Was I on you? Oh my gosh. My gosh. Calm down. I'm not on you yet. I ain't on you yet. So get off me. I'm talking to the chat right now. Goodness gracious. You really think you're the main event? You're like a side quest. I'm playing Sudoku right now. That's my main event. I got Sudoku on my computer screen in front of me. That's my main event. You, take a second. I'm talking to my chat real quick. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. You definitely ain't getting invited way anywhere for Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh. You're definitely the kind of person who sits at home eating one of those banquet meals for Thanksgiving. No wonder. Rude.
How about Kamala Harris?
Oh my gosh. Calm down. My gosh. Chat, do you see this? It's giving desperate. My gosh, he just wanted to have a conversation and he's all over me. Calm down. Guest, hi, how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
When were you born?
2002.
Yeah. So why'd you vote for a criminal felon, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, constitutional violator, somebody who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, and somebody whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him?
Oh my lord. All right, so let me hear 5 reasons that you voted for Kamala.
Excuse me. I asked you a question. Respond.
All right, so first of all, we need our economy to be fixed easily.
How is Donald Trump going to fix the economy?
How is Trump going to fix the economy?
How is the economy broken?
You think paying $3.50 for gas is a good thing?
You know that 350 is at the national average, right? Wait. You know that the national average isn't 350, right? You know that the national average is not 350. You know that the national average, excuse you. You know that the national average on gas isn't 350, right? Like, right? You know that what you pay in gas where you live is not what everybody else is paying. Like somebody just commented it's $2.50 in Alabama, $2.50 in Atlanta, and then you turn around and said, hey, houses are so expensive. Sure, if you wanted cheaper housing, you would have voted for Kamala Harris, who had the housing credit of $25,000. I mean, that would have benefited you, right? Anyway, so I'm just trying to better understand. Clearly, you don't know how the economy works. Recognize that where gas is by you is not what gas is by me. For example, gas by me is about $2.80 in Pennsylvania. And gas is also regional. Gas in Philadelphia might be more expensive than that of gas in Pittsburgh, right? And that's okay. But trying to better understand this, you seem very triggered. I mean, clearly you're angry, but I'm still trying to better understand this. How is the economy broken? You said that gas is high, but gas is actually at pre-pandemic levels. You look at inflation. Inflation is actually lower today than that of what it was in 2018, for example. It's 2.1% today, 2.4% in 2018. So here's what we're gonna do, chat. Let's take a bet. Do we A, think he's gonna continue crashing out, or B, is he gonna say something of intelligence? Let's see. A, do we think he's gonna continue crashing out because he's big mad, big angry, big cry baby? Or do we think B, he'll say something intelligent? Oh, it looks like the top answer is A. He's gonna pivot and continue crashing out. What's crazy is he broke the mute button. He unmuted himself so many times that it's literally broken.
My act.
Look at that. So anyway, guys, my question to you is, how is Donald Trump going to fix the economy? Considering well over 250 people right now just voted that you're going to crash out, I'm going to assume that you're probably going to pivot and crash out, but let's hope you go with secret answer B and say something of intelligence. So again, what is Donald Trump going to do to fix the economy? And this time, don't lie about your stats. I mean, you said that gas is $3.50. No, it's not. That's literally not the national average. And do you recognize that inflation today is lower than that of what it was under Donald Trump? Did you know that?
What is the point of asking to have a conversation?
So again, my question to you wasn't if you could cry more for me. That's not what I asked you. I'm not really, I'm not interested in watching you cry. Like if you need therapy, you do you, boo. But my question to you was, do you understand that inflation today is the same thing? Like it's almost identical to what it was in 2018 under Donald Trump. It's actually less than. It's 2.1% today. It was 2.4% under Donald Trump. Did you know that? What was that laugh? You're really crashing out here. Are you okay?
Wearing a Kamala. You're wearing
He's so big mad. This is phenomenal. Folks, if I'm making you laugh here today, if you're enjoying what you're watching, feel free to support me. My Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or in my bio. If you want to make a contribution in the name of this guest Benvo, feel free to support me. Just write L Benvo on the Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Anyway, guest, can you tell me again how Donald Trump is going to fix the economy whenever you're ready?
Are you gonna mute me or am I
Probably.
Am I gonna mute it? So then it's not an actual debate.
Can you just respond?
If you're just gonna keep muting me, then it's not an actual debate. If you're just
This is like the day after Christmas when you already broke your most fragile toy. Like this is like, it's giving like, when you were a child and your parents would give you like those dollar store toys and you would break them the next day. This is pathetic. Like MAGA's definitely not sending their best. This is really sad. So anyway, guest, can you just tell me again how, oh my gosh, calm down. Calm down. Oh my gosh, calm down. Can you tell me again, how is Donald Trump going to apparently fix the economy? You haven't said anything of substance yet, but I got to assume that you're probably on a substance. Anyway, can you just respond?
Every time I try to speak.
Not really. It's just when you're crying. See, you're crying now. See, muted. You're crying. If you stop crying, we can just have a conversation. So can you tell me again, how is Donald Trump going to fix the economy?
Can you let me speak? Can you let me
stop
speak?
Crying.
Let me speak. Can you stop fucking muting me?
See, bad word. Potty mouth. You're on mute. Oh, timeout. You're in timeout.
You're a bot.
In your corner. You're in timeout. Timeout. You're in timeout. Bad boy. We don't curse on this channel. Bad. You're in timeout. This is family friendly. Timeout. You're potty mouth. Bad. Potty mouth. No potty mouth on this channel. Bad boy. Bad. Count to 10. Take a breather. Okay, I want to have a conversation with you, but you're using potty mouth, and this is a family channel, right? Families are watching this. Kids are watching with their mothers right now, and you're got a potty mouth, right? So put a coin in the curse jar. Oh, are you running away? Should I get my cowbell? Oh, I think it's broken. Should I get my cowbell? On the count of 3, everybody, let's get a little cow emoji action in the chat. We got a runner. Yeah! Moo! Guest, you didn't leave the live stream properly. You have to understand that if you don't leave the live stream properly, my voice will be part of your cell phone until the holidays. Forget Siri. You're going to be talking to Johnny for the rest of your days. The fact of the matter is this. You can either come back in, do the walk of shame, and leave the live stream properly. Oh, he chose secret answer B. Shut his phone down and completely. So what he just did there was he didn't recognize you can't just click out of the app. So he shut down his phone entirely, and that is 3 minutes of rebooting his phone that he'll never get back. 3 minutes of his life that now are mine. And honestly, I'm gonna eat those minutes up like AT&T. You might as well call me Johnny Risen or like John TNT. It's great. All right, let's get up our next guest. I'm sure that we're gonna have a proper conversation with one of these Trumpers. I'm just certain. Hi. You vote for Trump?
My dad did, and
Oh, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Where did that go? There we go. On the count of three, everybody, fetus deletus. 3, 2, 1. Fetus deletus. Poof, and they're gone. Oh gosh, that's a beautiful spell. But don't forget, everybody, that spell is banned in Alabama. Let's get up our next guest. Hi. Just judging by your username, I could tell you're pretty healthy physically, and then judging by your profile photo, I could tell you're real healthy mentally. So this is going to be fun, I'm sure. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Judging by, I voted for Harris. But looking for your.
You voted by Harris. Well, man, now see, friendly fire, guys. If you voted for Harris, I'm looking to talk to opposition right now. W's in the chat for Kamala, though. W's Kamala. However, if you come up here and you voted for Kamala, no, I'm in the zone. You're gonna get roasted. So don't get mad at me if you get roasted. Love you guys, but just know, you guys know how I am. If you come up here and you're a Kamala supporter, and you know I'm just looking, it says right here, I voted for Kamala. Why'd you vote for Trump? Don't get upset with me if I start roasting you like I just did there. I'm in the zone. Y'all know what's up. Hi, guys. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yo, I made it. Yeah, I voted for Donald Trump.
Ew. You're on mute?
I said yes.
Right, and I said, ew. So why'd you vote for a criminal felon, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, somebody who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, somebody whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him, somebody who incited the textbook definition of an insurrection? Why?
You know, I just want a president that has actually accomplished things in life. And
Like
not
what?
Just
Name
and
one
not
thing he's
just, like, work in
accomplished.
government.
What did he accomplish?
What's his net worth?
I mean, 6 bankruptcies, yeah. Oh, wow. Congrats. Yay, Donald Trump. So accomplished. Yay, Donald Trump. He has 6 bankruptcies. That's wonderful.
Well,
Wow.
why'd you vote for Harris?
How about because unlike Donald Trump, who had 6 bankruptcies, Kamala Harris is actually a reasonable candidate. She was a prosecutor, a district attorney, and attorney general, led the largest Department of Justice, second
when she
only to
locked
the
up all the
U.S.
black men in
Excuse you.
California.
So Kamala Harris, largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice, is what she oversaw. While Donald Trump has never experienced a courtroom unless he was being prosecuted because he is a criminal. You have Kamala Harris, right, who was a senator and vice president, who gave us the Inflation Reduction Act, American Rescue Plan, CHIPS and Science Act, the infrastructure package. And then you have Donald Trump, somebody who, what? Violated the Second Amendment in a bump stock ban that was overturned by his own Supreme Court, marking him as the first modern day president to violate the Constitution. More ironically, the Second Amendment. I mean, you might call that an accomplishment, and I guess that is kind of history making, but I call that a felony. So help me better understand this. You voted for Donald Trump because, and this time don't pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't pivot at all. I just
You
don't want
did.
to prosecute
You asked me a
it.
question instead of answering mine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
pivot.
I mean,
So
you
what's
don't-
the
you don't
answer
have
to
to-
my question? What?
Yeah,
why
you don't
are
have
you?
to talk
Why did
over
you vote
me
for Donald
because
Trump?
You don't have to
Do you
talk
want to
over me
respond?
because-
Why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
Are you gonna let me talk or?
I've been begging you to talk. You won't.
Oh yeah, I mean, I said it twice. I was saying the same thing
No, you
again.
didn't.
I don't want a prosecutor who has put millions.
So don't talk about
thousands of black
Kamala.
men in
Don't
jail.
talk about Kamala. First off, you're lying. Secondly, don't talk about Kamala.
Oh, man, that's
right. The fact of the
embarrassing.
matter is, you
That's
MAGA Republicans
embarrassing.
run around saying that Kamala was too tough on crime. Do you recognize that Kamala Harris is the only Democrat in history that you MAGA Republicans say is too tough on crime, not too weak on crime, which speaks volumes to how qualified and how strong and fierce
But
of a prosecutor she was. I'm not done. And so help me better understand this. You are the law and order party, but you criticize a prosecutor who prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And apparently you don't know how an attorney general works. They prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, and if they don't, somebody else will, and they get replaced. You're out here saying, well, she should have let those criminals go. I get it. You like criminals. That's fine. You elected one into the presidency. Like, you like criminals. That's fine. That you do you, right? I prefer law enforcement. You prefer felons. That's fine, right? Everybody's got their thing. And your thing is that you support crime. But so help me better understand this. Let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump's policies now that he is the president-elect, and you give me a solution for what he's looking to do. Unmute yourself. I didn't mute you. Don't gaslight. So help me better understand this. You recognize that Donald Trump is running on mass deportation when it comes to his immigration policy, correct?
I mean, if you think mass
That was a yes or
deportation-
no.
Yes, he's running on mass deportation,
Okay.
big man.
So then
Yes,
help me
sir.
better
Yes,
understand
sir.
this. In Florida, SB 1718 was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis. This bill was mass deportation. It deported 40% of farmers because it turns out in Florida, 40% of farmers were undocumented migrants. They're no longer there. This has led in 1 month alone to a GDP gap in Florida of $13 billion, 12.6 to be precise, but give or take a couple million. Then we got to better understand this. Donald Trump is looking to implement that policy nationally. That is going to lead to a $300 to $450 billion GDP gap in 1 year alone across the country. And on average, 40% of farmers being deported from states that rely on agriculture, whether it be North Carolina and pork or Idaho and potatoes. So help me understand this. Democrats put forth the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would have provided a pathway to citizenship. You MAGA Republicans claimed up until the election, oh, we just want them to come in legally. That's all. But then this bill passed, right? And then you blocked the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that provided the pathway to citizenship. So it's not that you want somebody here legally or illegally, you just don't want migrants here whatsoever. So before you say that you just want them legally, let's be clear, your party does not. You blocked the bill that would have gave them legal citizenship. So what is your plan now to ensure that after 40% of farmers are deported, that there isn't a workforce development crisis? That is part one of my question. Because now you have to provide solutions, right? You're the party in charge. You have to provide solutions to the problems you're creating. That sucks, doesn't it? It really does. So again, first question, 40% of farmers you're deporting in Florida, that led to a manufacturing production crisis in produce, right? Costs went up at the grocery store in Florida. How are you going to ensure that that doesn't happen nationally? And part two, when you lose $300 to $450 billion nationally in your GDP, not a hypothetical, it's already happening in Florida because they already implemented this. How are you going to make up the difference in that GDP loss so that there isn't an economic recession? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just embarrassing for you. Like, you have to just have little policy facts on
This
hand.
is embarrassing. Okay, pivot.
You can't
Pivot.
have a constructive conversation without
Pivot.
cleaning out.
Everybody in the chat, do we think A, he's going to continue pivoting and lashing out? He's insulting because he doesn't know how to respond as he lacks any basic intelligence. So do we think A, he's going to lash out and run away? Or B, do we think he's going to actually respond once he unmutes? I think A, he's going to pivot, lash out, and insult because he can't respond as he has no intelligence to back his claim. If you think B, he's going to respond, then I hope you're right. Guest, please unmute and let's see. Are you going to respond or continue pivoting, lashing out, crying, and insulting? Let's see.
What's my claim? What's my claim?
Continue. Would you respond
never
to what I
made a
asked
claim.
you?
I never
You
once
did.
made a claim.
You claimed
What's my
that you were
claim?
voting for Donald Trump because he would be better off for the economy, for immigration. We're talking about
that's
that.
not- I
You did.
never
Can you?
once
This
said
is a
those words.
pivot. This is
I said
also a
those
pivot.
words. I
This is
said
a
those
pivot.
words.
This is a pivot.
Okay, Queen,
This is a
disconnect me,
pivot.
Queen. Disconnect me, Queen.
You're gonna cry. You're gonna run away. I'll get the
I mean,
cowbell.
you're putting words in my mouth. You're putting words in my mouth. Yeah. Bring the club out, Queen.
Respond to what I
Thank you,
said.
Queen. Thank you, Queen. You lost. You lost.
Can we get some W queens in the chat? I am fine getting called queen. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App in the bio. Fund your queen. Fund your queen. Support your queen. Your queen demands reparations. Support your queen. W queens in the chat. Listen, guys, it's 2024. You think that calling somebody queen is a bad thing? I love it. That's phenomenal. W queens in the chat. Okay, anyway, guest, unmute. I want you to respond to what I said, or at least admit that you're stupid and you can't.
I mean, I never once said any of those things you just claimed. I said all
So
I said simply. All I
this
said
is a pivot?
simply.
No, this is a
Can you
pivot.
listen? Can you listen?
Pivot,
All I said
pivot,
simply
pivot,
is that
pivot,
Trump
pivot,
has real
pivot. This is a
accomplishments
pivot.
in real life
This is a
outside of
pivot.
government.
Can you respond to what I just asked you, or
Okay,
at
what-
least
what-
admit that you're ignorant so you can't?
What did you ask? What did you ask? Say it in one sentence.
Lisa, thank you so much for the $10 for your queen. Thank you so much. Guess because of you, your queen just made $10. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Anyway, so help me better understand. Again, I just explained what you're looking to cause through Donald Trump's mass deportation policy, the economic crisis, recession, and the workforce development crisis it will pursue. This is not a hypothetical. We're seeing it take place in Florida right now as they already implemented mass deportation. It was SB 1718.
Yeah, well,
Abby,
first of all,
thank you so much. Abby, thank you for the $5. Abby says $5 for the funniest queen ever. Guest, again, thank you. Thank you for the super cake, Ashlyn. Cake
Yeah,
for your
good job,
queen.
guys, good job.
Let them eat cake. So anyway, guest, I need you to respond to what I said. If you can't, then just concede that you don't know.
Yeah, I
Becky,
will.
thank you so much for
I
the
said that.
$10 for
I never
Queen
once said that I
Johnny.
support those
Oh, hell, Queen Johnny! Woo! Let's get some W's, Queen Johnny, in the chat.
There's no point. And if you think
Queen
you can
Johnny.
do the greatest thing
Oh,
in
look,
Democrat
yes,
states,
you'll love this. I have guest. You'll love this. Oh, the guest got flagged and kicked out. That's hilarious. The guest got kicked out. TikTok kicked out the guest. That's phenomenal. Well, I didn't even put on my crown yet. I thought that the guest was gonna love my crown. What happened? Isn't it nice? Sam, you like my crown?
Yeah, I do.
Thanks. When were you born?
What?
Fetus. Bye. Next. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please hit the like button, hit the share button, help us get to 300,000 likes.
Hey,
Hi.
Trump
Did you
won.
vote for Donald
I
Trump?
can't believe you're still doing this.
You vote for Donald Trump?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Are you here to cry or have a conversation?
No, I'm wondering why you still do this.
Because I think it's funny to trigger MAGA
It's people like
Republicans.
you
It's like a
that made him,
hobby.
made him-
Actually, no. Before you say it's people like me who made him win, no, it's actually people like you who made him win. Donald Trump didn't win because intelligent people were slapping him down. Donald Trump won because ignorant people like you who didn't know how to put two and two together decided to vote for somebody who said he was going to lower costs when he doesn't have a single policy to do so. And it would have been very, very easy for you to Google that, but you chose not to. So help me understand, and here's what we're going to ask you now, buddy. Tell me, how is Donald Trump going to cut costs? Go ahead. Unmute. Let's go. Hurry up. Come on, unmute. I'm going to do something to trigger the
You can't
MAGA
just mute me
Republicans.
like that.
Oh, yeah, I can. Look, it's so easy. Poof. See? What do you mean I can't mute you like that? I just did it again, silly goose. I just did something to trigger the MAGA Republicans. Lip balm. They see lip balm and they start melting. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, can you
I'm
unmute?
not
There you
gonna
go.
talk
Good
to you,
boy.
fucking ignorant communist.
Good boy. So anyway, tell me again, how is Donald Trump going to cut costs?
He said he's going to do that.
How is he going to do it?
I don't know. Did you ask him? Have you heard him answer any of the
You
questions?
came up
Did you
here to
listen
talk
him
about why you voted for Donald Trump, and yet you're already
'cause,
pivoting.
Alex Jones.
It took all of 3 seconds. It took all of 3 seconds. So Donald Trump ran on cutting costs, but he doesn't have a single plan to do so. So now you got to own up to the fact he's not going to actually cut costs. Do you recognize that?
You should go listen to InfoWars.
Okay. InfoWars, you mean the website that was just sold to The Onion because it went bankrupt? You just asked me to go watch something that went bankrupt. You know, I believe as of right now, actually, if you go to that site, it'll probably lead you to The Onion. You know that it went bankrupt, was auctioned off, and a Democratic organization bought it. So maybe when you're running around telling people to go check out InfoWars, you probably shouldn't. You're sending them to a progressive website now. It no longer exists. Do you understand that? Why'd you mute yourself? Can you
I'm
just
not
respond? There you go. So do you understand that when you tell people to go watch that, when they look it up, it's going to lead them to a progressive website now? You understand? Because he went bankrupt, right? For conspiracies
Because
around...
you can still go to it.
You can't.
They didn't get shut down?
No, listen very closely. That name, the website, it was auctioned off just last week to a Democrat.
What
Pay
do you
attention.
think about that?
Pay attention.
Do you think that's a violation of our rights?
A violation of your rights? He went
Of
bankrupt
our
for
rights.
defaming. So he owned that, and now it's bankrupt, and it was auctioned off because he chose to
$1 billion.
defame. What is going on here? This isn't even the conversation I'm looking to have. If I wanted to talk about something as irrelevant as Alex Jones, I would have talked about something as irrelevant as, well, for example, let's talk about, actually, now that I think about it, I can't think of a single thing that's more irrelevant than Alex Jones.
Your Mackesy was
That's
right.
crazy. Anyway, guys, I'm trying to ask you a question. I'm going to ask one more time, and if you can't respond, then we will move on to the next guest, okay? So again, Donald Trump
know what,
ran
Jeff?
on cutting costs. How is he going to do that? Unmute. Let's go. Come on. Hurry up. Good boy. So how is he going to cut costs?
Have conversations that you don't
Okay,
know
let's
about.
move on
You
to the
talk-
next one. That guy has no intelligence. Guest, if you find any intelligence and you're willing to have a conversation, feel free to come back up. But I am looking to talk to somebody who maybe knows a thing or two about the economy, and you clearly don't. Hi, Sam. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah,
Gotcha. How old are you?
I was born in 01,
Okay, so how old are you?
23.
Okay. Why'd you vote for Donald Trump? A convicted felon, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, somebody who was found guilty on 34 felony counts, called a fascist by his own chief of staff, somebody who was marked as a constitutional violator according to his own Supreme Court in June of this year, and somebody whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him?
Yeah, 100%. So a lot of that has been disproven, but besides that, if we
No, it
could
hasn't.
real quick,
What was disproven?
if we could real quick,
What was
if we-
disproven?
If we could real
What was
quick.
disproven?
Okay, so if
What
we
was
could real
disproven?
quick, have a
If we could answer my question, what was disproven?
conversation.
What
that's
was
not
disproven?
interrupting
Nice
such
pivot. You're going to
productive-
respond to what I just asked you. What was disproven?
Do you like having productive conversation?
I appreciate productivity, and you are being unproductive as we speak when you neglect to answer my question. So tell me again, what was disproven?
Okay, so which one do you want to start with?
All of them. Which was disproven?
Majority of them. So if
Which
we're
one?
going to talk about the politics of it, right? So like,
No, I'm asking you, what was disproven? The Supreme Court ruled he's a constitutional violator for signing an executive order that violated the bump stock of the Second Amendment. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Which part?
Was that disproven?
What?
Yes or no?
That doesn't even make sense.
Okay, so again, was it disproven that he's a constitutional violator? The crickets are insane. Okay, so it wasn't disproven. So he is a constitutional violator. Now, let's look at his chief of staff, who oversaw his entire administration, calling him a fascist. When your chief of staff is calling you a fascist, something's wrong with you. So tell me, was the chief of staff wrong? Crickets. So no, the chief of staff wasn't wrong. Okay. Next up, looking at his vice president, his own vice president also ruled he's a constitutional violator because he asked him to diminish parts of the Constitution to overthrow an election. Thus why Mike Pence wouldn't endorse him, let alone run with him. Was Mike Pence wrong? Is Donald Trump not a constitutional violator? Was that disproven? Crickets. Okay, so he is a constitutional violator. Wow. We even get to the courtroom yet. We are just talking about what it came down to with the Constitution. I know you've never read it, but if you want, you could borrow my copy. Okay. Another question. On the 34 felony counts, falsifying business records, checks, and statements, his jury was appointed by lawyers he paid. So again, Donald Trump paid Republican lawyers to appoint a jury. They also did away with jurors that they disagreed with, including one woman because she had blue hair. So tell me again, was the jury wrong when they said he was guilty on 34 felony counts? Crickets. Oh, okay. So that wasn't disproven either. Gosh, well, it seems like none of this was disproven. Now the moment we've been waiting for, when you jump in and say E. Jean Carroll wasn't a victim, and you turn around and you say, this is because of the DNA and blah, blah, blah. Now we'll get into the civil liability of fraud. Hi, I tricked you. You thought we were going to sexual abuse. Haha. Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm the guy that programmed Donald Trump's website that he uses to track his debt down to the penny. Featured in HuffPost. Feel free to look me up. Was it disproven that Donald Trump, evaded taxes, lied on his net worth, inflated his values to take out loans, then were higher that of what he deserved to defraud the New York government? Was that? Oh, it wasn't disproven. Oh, more crickets. Okay, now, since we know that he is a constitutional violator, a fraudster, since we do know that he in fact is a fascist, now we can get into the sexual abuse case, which I'm sure is the case you were looking forward to talking about. He was found liable of sexual abuse by a unanimous jury appointed by his own lawyers. Go ahead and tell me why you think E. Jean Carroll's not the victim. Good luck. More crickets! Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
shocked.
So are you ready
There
to
you
have
go.
a
Now he's going. I knew it.
productive
Y'all, chat, is this not crazy how he starts talking? Is it not crazy to me? He literally was like, all of that was disproven. I go through every single court case knowing the only court case he probably looked up was the sexual abuse case. And I slap him down. He doesn't respond to a single case because he could not suggest it was disproven after I slap him down with the facts. Then I get to the sexual abuse case and he's like, okay, great. I'm ready to talk. Knew it.
No, that's
It's
not
so
what I'm
simple.
gonna
No,
talk
it really
about.
is. So just respond. Hurry up.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're going to talk about policies, which is the main thing of why you're voting
Oh,
for
you're going to pivot? I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to disprove what I just spoke about.
No, actually, I never said I want to disprove.
You did. You
anything.
said it was
I just said most of
disproven, right? You said it was disproven. You said
Most
that it
of
was
it, yeah.
disproven. So now you don't want to disprove me?
I
You
never
don't want
said
to
I
disprove
wanted to
me?
disprove you on that. So
I mean, you said it was disproven, did you not?
cool.
Did you say it was disproven, yes or no?
Most of those claims that you said, yes.
Okay, and yet when I gave you the chance to respond to each one, you were silent because crickets. If you've had time to chat GPT this now, feel free to respond. How were those claims or allegations or convictions disproven?
Right. So for a productive conversation, none of that actually needs to be
Pivot.
talked about because that's
Pivot.
No, it's not pivot.
It actually is so important, but you don't want to respond because you don't know how to disprove it.
It's not.
Let's
'Cause the main
admit
reason-
let's
so the
admit this,
question
right?
that
Listen,
you
listen,
have-
we can both agree that this isn't about, you know for a fact, we agree on this, right? We're going to
You're
disagree
pivoting.
on a lot
You're
of this
pivoting.
conversation.
You're
What we
pivoting.
do agree on
You're
is that
pivoting.
you are pivoting
You're
and you won't
pivoting.
disprove what I just
pivoting.
said, not because you don't think it's productive, but because you don't know how. We can agree
No,
that you
no,
don't know
so-
how to disprove it,
Johnny,
right? We
Johnny,
agree
look,
on that.
look.
Chat, do we all agree?
Johnny, if you stop
You're
talking
not
for 10
responding.
seconds,
No,
you
hold
could
on,
listen.
hold on. We're not
10
going to pivot
seconds.
to policy yet.
No, I'm not
Disprove
even trying
me.
to go
You've
to
had more than
policy.
enough time to chat GPT a response.
I don't need to chat
Disprove.
GPT, 'cause I
Again,
don't-
let's start with the
none of
Supreme
those
Court. The
actually
Supreme Court.
matter.
This is important. The
No,
Supreme
it's not.
Court marked Donald Trump as a constitutional violator, right? Because he
Cool.
signed an executive order without going through the chamber to, oversee a legal counsel on the subject, and yet he implemented a bump stock ban that was in direct violation of the Constitution, more ironically, the Second Amendment. Can you tell me, is that disproven? And Natasha, thank you so much for the $15 on Cash App.
Johnny,
I
can you tell me
appreciate it.
why
Thank you
you're
for the love.
changing the subject. So your original question.
We've been on the same
was-
subject. We've
No,
been
no,
on the
no.
same
Your original
subject.
question-
We've been on the same subject. You're not pivoting.
Johnny, stop
We are not
interrupting.
pivoting. Respond.
You don't know
Respond.
how to. You don't know
Was it
how to let
disproven?
people
Yes or no?
respond.
Was it
You've done this
disproven?
the
Yes
whole
or
time.
no? I'm
Johnny,
not going to let you
your
pivot.
original
Maybe
question-
I hope you've learned by now. I will not be letting you
original
pivot. You're
question-
not answering my question. My original question was, why are
recapping
you
the
voting for
question.
the constitutional violator? You said that was disproven. Now I'm telling you to disprove it. You
That
don't
wasn't
want
the
to
original
because you
question.
can't.
Johnny, go back to your original
You got
question.
cooked.
Ready? Stop talking.
You got cooked.
Stop
Listen
talking.
very closely.
10
Again,
seconds.
your question, I asked you, can you tell me why you voted for a constitutional violator, sexual offender, civil fraudster, felon on 34 felony counts, who was marked a constitutional violator by his own Supreme Court, who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him? You said all that was disproven, or most of that was disproven. And I told you, okay, disprove it. I went through every claim and you couldn't do that. Right?
So
Right?
my
So
answer-
we haven't, there's no
Yeah.
way that I could possibly be pivoting here. I'm telling you, you are pivoting into policy,
Because
and I'm
as
more
soon
than
as I
happy
said
to talk about
that
policy,
most of that
but I
was
need you to first and
disproven, you
foremost
instantly
tell me,
interrupt me and ask
can
me to
you
disprove
tell
it,
me,
which isn't
listen
why I'm
closely,
voting for
again, I need you to tell me, you said that you could disprove it, but you won't.
Keep muting me. How do
Is Donald Trump a constitutional violator? Yes or
keep
no?
muting-
If your answer is no, then tell me how
if you
he's
keep
not.
muting
Go ahead.
Me, how do I tell you?
Hurry up.
If you keep muting me, how do I tell you?
Hurry up.
So your question, right, with my response to your original question was most of that was disproven.
So disprove it.
And that's the first spot. That doesn't matter. I don't need to
Disprove it. You do need to. You can't just say it's disproven
has
and not
nothing to
disprove
do
it.
with
Disprove
The
it.
second
Hurry
reason
up.
I
No,
voted
no,
for
no, no,
Trump-
no, no, no. That's the
Yes, 'cause
pivot.
you
Don't
never
go
let
into
me
a
answer the
second
question.
reason. You don't go into a second reason. You don't
Yes,
start talking
but-
about a second reason. You disprove what you just said. You said
Yeah.
that you could disprove it. Disprove it.
You're just going to keep muting. I never
Yes.
said I could
Disprove it. Stay on topic.
I never said I wanted
Okay,
to
so then you admit you just lied and that you can't
No.
disprove it and it hasn't
Most
been
of that
disproven.
has been disproven.
So tell me how.
It doesn't matter. You
Burden
can
of proof.
literally go look
You
at
gotta explain. You
So-
can't just turn around and say it's disproven and not disprove it. That's not
No,
how you
so-
debate.
'cause when
That
I
is not how you
originally
debate.
answered the question,
You came up here to
you
debate.
interrupted me.
Excuse you. Let me moderate you, right? Welcome to a debate. You can't just say that something is disproven and then not disprove it.
debate
Again, I'm
would-
not going to let you pivot. We will talk about policy, but we will
debate
not
would-
get there until you disprove what I just said. Donald Trump was a constitutional violator according to his own Supreme Court. Okay? If you are saying you can disprove that, do that now. Do not pivot. You're saying you know better than the Supreme Court. Prove it. Go ahead.
No, so again, as soon as I said most of that has been disproven, you instantly started rambling.
I said disprove
and
it.
mute the mic, right?
Correct. I said disprove it.
Right. So
Now
I
do
don't
it.
need to disprove any of that.
Yes, you
I would
do.
like
Disprove
to
it.
finish the original
Nope.
answer.
Disprove it.
I would like
Nope. Disprove
finish
it.
the original
Disprove
question.
it. Disprove it.
Okay, which one do you want me to start with?
Start with the constitutional violation. His own Supreme Court ruled he's a constitutional violator for not going through Congress and instead signing an executive order to implement a bump stock ban. If he went through Congress, legal counsel would have told him this is against the Second Amendment. He did not do so. He oversaw his own authority and then jumped into an executive order that violated the Second Amendment. Amy Coney Barrett, his own Supreme Court justice appointment, and the entire U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously that he is a constitutional violator, and they overturned his bump stock ban. Are you saying that they're wrong?
I mean, are you talking about like that?
I think I made very clear what I was talking about.
I mean, because none of that finished going all the way through. You do realize that.
I think I made very clear what I was talking about. So again, was the
Well, I
Supreme
just
Court
answered you, you're not
wrong?
responding
No, you didn't disprove anything. You didn't disprove a single thing I just said.
because it didn't go all the way through.
It did, right? He signed the bump stock ban by executive order. Executive order is initiated upon signature. It was overturned in June of this year, years later, by his own Supreme Court, and they ruled he is a constitutional violator. More ironically, a constitutional violator when it comes to the Second Amendment. It did go through. So now tell me again, are you saying that the Supreme Court was wrong? Or is Donald Trump a constitutional violator? Which is it?
Sure. So if we can move on, I'll just say yes.
No, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Tell me. You said you could disprove it. You're not just going to turn around and say,
never
fine, if we
said
can,
I could
if we
disprove
can
it.
move
I said
on,
I can
I'll just say
disprove
yes. Okay, so then you concede that you lied and you can't disprove any of it. Say that. You concede, you lied, and you can't disprove a single thing.
No, I mean, I'd like to actually have a productive conversation.
Right, so we'll move into policy. First, concede and admit you lied and explain to the chat that you in fact cannot disprove anything I just said. Mary, thank you so much for the $15. And Edward, thank you for the $20 on Cash App for Queen Johnny. Thank you so much, Lisa. W's to the Queen. Anyway, first concede. We'll talk about policy, but first concede and tell the chat you lied. You could not disprove anything I just said.
Well, no, because that's not true. That's not.
So then disprove it.
It's productive to go into.
No, if you
I
can't
never
disprove
said I
it, then
wanted to
admit
debate
you
that.
can't. You literally said that
Yes,
it is
correct.
disproven. I told you to disprove it. If you can't, then admit you can't and concede on that. Say, I cannot concede. Say, I cannot disprove that. I concede and I lied saying I could disprove that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I will say this: I do not have a bunch of information pulled up on that, but that has been.
So get the information. Go ahead.
No, because there's no point. I would like to do something.
No, get the information. Go ahead. Take your time. Get the information. Disprove
You're not
it.
even gonna let me answer
You just
your
said that you
original
need the
question.
information. Excuse you. You said that you needed you needed time to get the information. Go get the information. I have time. Go ahead. Go on. Da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. I'm gonna expect like sources on this, right? You're gonna have another 15 seconds to get the research you need. Go ahead. Take your time.
I'm not researching anything.
Okay, so then at least
Because I would
admit
like
that
to
you
actually
concede.
finish your
We can
original
talk about
question.
policy, but I don't talk to liars. So first you need to concede, admit
So-
you lied, and that you in fact cannot disprove a single thing I just said. If you don't say that, if you don't admit you can't disprove what I just said, I can't talk to you. What's the point of having a conversation with somebody who can't concede when they're wrong? Right? So admit
I'm
you
not-
lied,
I'm just saying I'm
admit
not
that you
going to
can't
go pull up
disprove.
a bunch of different.
So
bunch
get
of different
sources if you need
articles
time to disprove
to go
me. I have
through.
time.
So you look up one thing, right?
I am more than
Right,
happy. Go get your sources. Take the
not
time.
gonna go
Feel
through
free
it.
to
I would
listen.
like
Again, you need
answer
time
your
to prove me
original
wrong.
question
Go
that
ahead,
you
look it up.
choose to do.
So, very close attention to what I'm about to say. Really soak in what I'm about to say. I do not talk to people who cannot concede when they're wrong. So know this. You can either A, disprove what I said, and you can't. You know that, because I know what I'm talking about. But if you need time to research it, feel free to. And then feel free to prove me wrong. I still know you can't with research. So I'm more than happy to have you conduct that research because it just makes it that much more enjoyable for me to watch you struggle to find something to disprove me. But I asked you to disprove me because you said everything I said was disproven. You can't. So now, before we move into policy, I need you to concede and admit to the chat that you cannot disprove me. Once you do that,
I
we
already
can then
said
move
that.
on
I
to the
said
next
that I do not have the
topic. You did
information
not.
up to disprove you.
That's
Yes,
not
100%.
saying, no, that's not saying you can't disprove it because I'm telling you, okay, go get the information. Admit you lied. No information exists to disprove me.
On what part? So yes,
Every
that-
single aspect of what
am
I
saying-
said.
I'm not
Again,
trying to say he never put a ban on bump
okay,
stocks. I'm
so
not
then
saying
let's
that.
go step by step. Is he a constitutional violator?
No.
Okay, so disprove that. Go ahead. Prove me wrong.
So prove how a ban on bump stocks is violating the Constitution.
The Supreme Court unanimously ruled it is, and their sole purpose is to interpret the Constitution. So you tell me how you know better than those 9 justices. Go ahead.
So tell me where a bump stock is.
Take your time. Go look it up. Go look it up. Again, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on this. I'm going to trust them, whose sole purpose is to interpret the Constitution. When they rule he violated the Second Amendment and is a constitutional violator, I'm going to believe them before I believe you. However,
Which
you're
is-
saying that you could disprove that Supreme Court and that you know better. Tell me how. Don't ask me a question.
No, I'm not
Don't
saying
tell
that.
me
I
to
mean,
do
it has been
something.
appealed,
You
you
tell
know,
me.
so-
Go ahead.
That has been appealed. If that's really all you want to talk about.
You said he's not a
about,
constitutional violator. Go get the source that proves it.
So you do realize that's been appealed. Also, on
It's
your
been
second
appealed.
hearing-
Excuse
Yeah.
me? No, you don't appeal from the Supreme Court. There's nowhere to appeal it to. You
Yeah,
know the
there
Supreme Court's the Supreme Court's the highest court in the land. You cannot
There's
appeal
appeals that
from,
happen all the time.
sir. You cannot appeal after the Supreme Court.
You can appeal the Supreme Court.
It is the highest court in the land. Where do you think it's going? The Legion of Doom afterwards? There's
Yeah.
nothing above the Supreme Court. Where are you appealing it to?
Anyway, so are you ready?
No,
to
after the
move
Supreme
on to
Court,
the
where are
original
you appealing
question?
it? Excuse you. You just said that they appealed the case that marked Donald Trump a constitutional violator. It's the highest court in the land. Where did they appeal it to?
So here's what I want you to do.
No, I would like an
Use
answer.
Google.
Where did they
Google,
appeal
can you
it to?
appeal the
Where did
Supreme
they
Court?
appeal? Pivot. Where
No,
did
no,
they
no.
pivot? That's a pivot. Where
not
did they
pivot.
appeal
That's the
it
same
to?
topic.
You just said that they appealed
Simple
it
Google,
after.
Johnny.
Excuse you. Pivot.
Excuse
Again,
you, Johnny.
Pivot.
You're pivoting.
Pivot. You're pivoting. You just said that they
You're pivoting.
appealed the case
You're pivoting.
that was already smacked down in the Supreme Court and marked Donald Trump a constitutional violator. Tell me, where did they appeal it to? Go ahead, unmute. Where did they appeal the case? Respond. You can't appeal after the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's the highest court in the land. This is embarrassing. Are you embarrassed? You should be.
No.
Tell me again,
Johnny,
where
just
did they
Google it.
appeal it? Where did they appeal it?
Johnny,
Chad,
take
do you think
10
he's going to
seconds
answer
and
this?
Google it.
Chat, do you think he's going to answer this? Do you think he's going to answer this? Because I don't. Guess, Sam, where did they appeal it to?
Johnny, just Google it.
No. Where did they appeal it to? You seem to know, right? I mean, you just said that they appealed it. I assume you know where. Where did they appeal it? I mean, again, I know that the Supreme Court's the highest court in the land, and then you doubled down and said people appeal from the Supreme Court all the time. Okay, so what court does it get appealed to? Like, again, what is above the Supreme Court? Lisa, thank you so much for the $12. Lisa just dropped $12 to boot you. Sam, help me understand. So you said that you could disprove everything I said, and you couldn't. You said that
I
you could
never said that.
disprove.
I
You did.
never said that.
Nope, you're pivoting and you're lying. You couldn't
No, I'm
disprove it.
not.
Now you're backtracking, and I'm glad you're
No,
backtracking.
no.
I appreciate you backtracking.
You said
So we
the
agree you were
statements,
wrong.
I said most
I
of that
agree,
has been
and yet
disproven.
you couldn't disprove it. Exactly. And so
Never
I'm
said I
glad
was
that you
going to
can't disprove
disprove it
it.
for
I'm
you.
glad. I hope that this has been educational for you. You turn around and you kept pivoting left and right. You wouldn't tell me how he's not a constitutional violator. Then, and I should have known exactly how ignorant you were, because you said that he appealed the case out of the Supreme Court. There's no court after the Supreme. You're not allowed to appeal after the Supreme Court. It's the highest
can
court in the
appeal
land.
Supreme Court rulings.
No.
Yes, you can.
Listen very closely. One more time, I'm going to ask you, where did he appeal the case to then? If it was already ruled in the Supreme Court that Donald Trump is a constitutional violator in accordance to the executive order he signed that was in direct violation of the Second Amendment, you said he appealed the case after it was already ruled on in the Supreme Court. Where did he appeal it to? Where did Donald J. Trump appeal this case to? Go ahead. Sam, unmute. Where did he appeal it to? Sam, I get your Googling.
Oh no,
You should.
I forgot
Where did
you
he
needed me.
appeal
Which is
this
what they
case
should.
to? The next
You
words
don't know
that
how to
come out of your
communicate.
mouth better be the court that he appealed it to.
So, Supreme Court cases Supreme Court.
Where
rulings can
did
be
Donald
appealed. Yes, they
J.
can.
Trump appeal the case to after it was ruled on in the Supreme Court? Did he appeal it to the Justice League? Did he appeal it to the basketball court, the Legion of Doom? Where did he appeal the case to?
You appeal the case, and the Supreme Court has to review the case.
Say, my name's Sam, and I just claimed that Donald Trump appealed the case in the Supreme Court, but now I can't tell you where he appealed it to.
Oh, here,
Go ahead,
do
Sam.
you want the here? I'll
Sam.
read the direct. Are you
Sam.
Gonna stop, or are you going to stop
Sam,
talking
listen
for 2
very
seconds?
closely.
Okay. go
After
ahead.
it was ruled on in the Supreme Court, where did he appeal the case to? I'm not asking you about a generic case. I'm asking you this case. Where was it appealed? Go ahead. Crickets. Okay.
Correct. So moving on. Correct.
Do you concede that you lied again?
No, because I didn't. You can Supreme or you can.
Where did
appeal.
Donald J. Trump
Oh my God.
appeal this case? Crickets. Correct.
Johnny, I
he
hope you
couldn't
have a great
because
day.
it's the spring. Oh, you're gonna
I
winner! We got a
would leave.
runner! Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. Let's get some
Johnny.
cow emojis in the chat. Moo! We got a runner.
5 seconds of
Ah! Sweet! Let's cow the cows. Let's call the cattle, everybody. Moo! Moo! We got a runner. Yeah! Alrighty, get out of here. Let's get up our next victim. Guest. Let's get up our next guest. The moment that he was like, oh yeah, you know, the case was appealed in the Supreme Court, you don't get to appeal the case out of the Supreme Court. That is not how it works.
Hello.
Hi. I think it was kind of funny
How are
that he was
you?
trying to talk to me about this. Like, again, if these folks feel like looking me up, I'm Johnny. I'm the guy who was sitting across from Clarence Thomas during the immunity case. I was sitting across from Amy Coney Barrett during the Colorado ballot hearing in the Supreme Court. I'm not new to this. So when you're telling me that it was appealed in the Supreme Court, I know very well it wasn't, which is why I was forcing him to find me a source on it. I'm going to do something that triggers a lot of MAGA Republicans. I got a chapstick. Hi, guys. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did, yes.
So why'd you vote against your own interests?
So are you just able to like describe my own interests?
Sure.
Like
You have
what
less
in
rights
your
than
eyes
me.
are my interests?
You have less rights than me. Ellie, thank you so
Okay,
much for
can you
the
explain
$10 on
how?
Cash App. Thank you so much for the love, Ellie. I don't need to explain it to you. You explain it to me. You know very well what interest I'm talking about. Let's not gaslight. Let's not act ignorant. I mean, you seem smart. Are you?
I'm not being disrespectful.
No,
or
ma'am,
rude.
I'm not being disrespectful.
I'm sorry?
I'm telling you, you seem intelligent. Are you? If you are, then you know very well what I'm talking about. Why do you have less rights than me? You know why.
I'm going to be straightforward. No, I'm going to be straightforward with you for just a minute. I had a debate or talk with another person that was live.
I don't care.
probably
Sorry, wait,
after
sorry.
the
Hold on. Let me
election.
fix my face. Apparently, I look like I care.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, so tell me again. You know exactly why you
I'm
have
gonna give
less
it right back to
rights
you.
than me. So tell me, how do you have less rights than me in Donald Trump's America?
No, I'm going to talk to you the way that you're talking to me.
Good luck. First, start
I just
off
think
with,
Donald Trump
maybe
is
cut back
better
on the
for the country.
slurring, like the slur in the voice. That might help you, and then you could talk a little bit more like me. You're also going to have to incorporate like a little bit of intelligence in there, and use words that have more than one syllable. So let's get back into this again. Tell me, how do you have less rights than me? I know how you have less rights than me in Donald Trump's America. Can
I
you
don't
tell me
drink at
how?
all, honey. I don't. I don't drink. There's no choices that need to be made about my body right now. I'm
Okay, but at
at
least
peace
you
with
recognize,
everything.
so it really isn't your body, your choice anymore because of Donald Trump. So again, there's not a single law that regulates my body as a man, but there are countless laws that regulate your body as a woman. In Donald Trump's America, you have less rights than me, and you voted against your own interests. We are not on an equal playing field, correct? Like, for example, your candidate won, but you lost in
Okay.
life. My candidate lost, and yet in Donald Trump's America, I'm the top of the food chain. That is not what I wanted. I wanted us to be on an equal playing field because that's how my mama raised me. You uplift women in America. Donald Trump's mama raised him differently, right? And so I'm telling you, we are now not equal in Donald Trump's America, and you need to recognize that. You voted against your own interests. Do you understand?
I don't have a daughter. Sorry, I'm reading your nonsense comments. Who are just assuming I have
Ma'am.
a daughter.
Put the cup down. It's
I don't
early.
drink.
It's early
I'm
on a
actually-
Sunday. Oh, this is just how you are? That might be
about
worse. That might be worse. Maybe it's time to
I
pick up that
don't
habit.
drink.
So tell me again. You voted against your own interests because
You're funny. You just look ridiculous up here. Like, you're trying to, like, gaslight
the
every single
insulting.
person that
Ma'am, I get it.
drinks.
Listen, again, I thought I was talking to somebody who could reflect some intelligence. You know, in my experience, women are far more intelligent than men in every scenario. I could tell you that right now. I mean, the live streamers on this app that are women are far more intelligent than me. So I was hoping that when you came up here, unlike the 3 men I just had up that had zero empathy, zero relevant statements to make, zero arguments to make, I was hoping that you could combat me in some way, and yet you've proven me wrong. So that's deeply disappointing. I'm going to ask you again, because clearly you won't own up to the fact you voted against your own interests. Can you tell me, without embarrassing yourself, why did you vote for Donald Trump?
I voted for Donald Trump because I voted for Donald Trump. I don't need to
Oh
tell
my
you my
gosh.
reasons.
Ma'am, can you read? I voted for Kamala. Why'd you vote for Trump? Why'd you come up here if you can't answer that simple question?
You won't even let me. So you don't even.
I just
let me
asked you a
talk.
question.
You
I
cut me
understand
off
that
every
literacy.
single word I try to
I
tell you.
understand that literacy might not be your strength, but let's try really hard here. Can you tell me again why'd you vote for
Okay,
Donald Trump?
I'm gonna drop.
Oh,
because
you're
I
gonna
have-
run. It's not drop. It's run
I
away.
am.
I get it. You're gonna run away.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got a runner. Let's get our
Bring your
cowbell.
stupid
No, let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner.
Oh my god.
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, we got a runner. Let's get up our next guest. Man, I was really hoping that she was gonna have a quality conversation. My statement stands. The women debaters on this app are far more intelligent than the men debaters. Don't get me wrong. The men on this app are very intelligent, but women on this app are fierce AF. They slap you down. They go by fact. There is no emotion in it. They are incredibly intelligent. Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No.
W's in the chat. Thank you for not voting for him. Let's get up our next guest. Folks, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Help us get to 500,000 likes. We are going to get up our next guest. Hi there. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
How old are you?
I am 25,
When were you born?
99.
Okay. And why'd you vote for the fascist? Sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon. I'm sorry, I wasn't done. Why'd you vote for the guy who violated the Constitution, who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, and who quite literally his own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him? Felix, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate the love, Felix.
Why
Respond?
do you think women have, or why were you saying to the girl before me that you're more prosperous in this country than she is? Or like you have more rights?
Oh, are you
than
trying
she
to
is?
gaslight people into thinking that men do not have more rights than women right now? Really? Name me one policy that regulates your body as a man in America. Go ahead.
Regulates the draft?
Mm-hmm. No. The draft doesn't regulate you and you alone, right? So tell me again, thank you for the galaxy. Tell me one policy that regulates your body as a man. Go ahead.
I can't think one off the top of my head.
Oh, right,
now.
because one doesn't exist. Can you tell me one policy that does regulate the body of a woman?
I'm not sure.
You actually can name countless of them, but you refuse, and you're trying to act as though they don't exist when they do.
No,
For example, 6-week abortion bans, bans on IVF, right?
Okay. The thing
That
with
violates a
abortion-
woman's right to bodily autonomy. So again, help me understand. You're saying that you're on an equal playing field with that woman who was just on here, and yet recognize that she in fact has less rights than you. Do you
There's
understand
nothing
that?
stopping
Answer the
her from
question.
being a
No,
prosperous
answer the
person in the
question. Answer the
country.
question. I never said prosperous. Answer the question. You understand that she has less rights than you. Yes or
Would you
no?
acknowledge? would
Answer,
you
acknowledge
that
to what I just
abortion-
asked you. Do you understand, yes or no, that she has less rights than you? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay. So again, name the policy that regulates your body as a man.
Bro, why are you speaking?
Oh,
to
right,
this-
you
why
can't.
is this
So now,
issue-
one more time.
why-
Let's connect
why
2
is
and
this
2. Let's connect
issue-
2 and 2. Let's connect 2 and 2. You got one brain cell on the left, one brain cell on the right. Clack them in together, make a spark. One more time. There are
This is why
policies that
Donald Trump
regulate
won,
the
because the
bodies
left is
of
so
women. No.
condescending.
Donald Trump didn't win because of condescending people. That argument doesn't make sense when you're as condescending as Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the man who dressed up as a McDonald's employee to mock minimum wage workers, and then in the same sentence turned around and said he wasn't going to raise the wage. That's condescending. Donald Trump won because of uninformed, uneducated, and ignorant individuals like yourself. That is why he won. People who thought he was going to cut costs and who didn't take approximately 2 minutes to research how he would do so. If they did, they would know he doesn't have a single policy to cut costs. So now, without pivoting, without crying, without insulting, without running away, tell me, do you understand that women have less rights than you as a man in Donald Trump's America? Do you understand?
Brother, I'm trying to
You're
tell
gonna
you that
pivot?
this issue.
You're gonna pivot? You're gonna
that this-
pivot? You're
I'm
gonna
not-
pivot?
You're punching down.
It's a yes or
and
no.
this-
Nope, it was a yes or no. Do you
Okay.
understand that women have less rights than you as a man in Donald Trump's America?
There's
Yes
nothing
or no?
stopping a woman
It was a
from
yes or
having her
no.
best
It
life
literally, yeah,
to-
there is. It's called the
No.
government, and they
No,
are
there's not.
interfering with their bodily autonomy.
A girl
So
has
again, do
self-agency.
you
If she has
understand that
unprotected-
women have less rights in Donald Trump's America than you do as a man? It's a yes or no. It is not an open-ended. I apologize if I had you thinking I was looking for an open-ended answer. I was not. Again, women have laws that regulate their bodies in America, in Donald Trump's America. Men do not. So let's connect 2 and 2.
Right. And I'm trying to
So
tell
let's
you that
connect 2 and 2. If women have laws that regulate their bodies and men do not, then you tell me, are women not less than that of a man in Donald Trump's America?
no.
That makes connect 2 and 2, my
He just
guy.
appointed the,
Connect
the,
2
the
and 2.
first woman chief of
Connect
staff.
2 and 2. And he's stripping away her right to choose.
He's
So that
leaving
was
it
a
up to the
pivot.
states. He's
What a
literally
pivot.
leaving it up
What
to
a
the
fun
states.
pivot. What a fun
He's
pivot.
leaving it up
What
to
a
the states.
fun
Look, it's
pivot.
a state-
Tell me again.
it's a state
So
issue.
women have laws that regulate their bodies in America. Men do not. So that means women have less rights than men. Yes or no?
Bro, it's a state's issue.
Okay.
Donald Trump is
Nice
leaving it up
pivot.
to the
Nice
states
pivot.
to vote.
Nice pivot. Then
Is
why
that not
didn't
the
Donald Trump,
democratic
excuse
way?
you, why didn't Donald Trump leave forced vasectomies up to the states? Right, because he's not looking to regulate the bodies of men, just the bodies of women. Because women have less rights today in Donald Trump's America and are treated less than to that of a man in Donald Trump's America. You turn around and you say to me, "Oh, hey, in Donald Trump's America, we got equality, and he just appointed the chief of staff as a woman." That doesn't make any sense, man. Own up to it. You can't admit that you voted against the interests of women across the country, and after you do so, you will not gaslight them. Jaden, I'm looking to do solos for just right now. I appreciate it, though. Let's get up our next guest. How dare you try to gaslight women? You strip away their right to choose, and then you act as though you did it.
This is rage bait. Do not feed into it. He's not.
Excuse me? I'm sorry. You could look up my name and know very quickly by a simple Google search that I don't rage bait. Oh, he ran away. That's sad. Let's make something very clear. The rage bait is what you just did. You jumped into somebody else's live stream and started screaming, right? You can easily look me up. It's very simple. But again, I know that MAGA Republicans don't like Google searching. That's why Donald Trump won the election. Because if you did, then you would have learned a thing or two. about Donald Trump, but feel free to look me up and then you'll learn.
Hello, host.
Oh, okay. I got a T box that's going right into the Boston Harbor with your name on it. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Please get us to 500,000 likes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
You vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't really care how you doing. I'm sorry I asked. Why'd you vote for a criminal sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon who was found as a constitutional violator according to his own Supreme Court? I wasn't done. Somebody who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff?
Yeah.
Still wasn't done. Somebody whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him, because he was asked to violate the Constitution, that being the electoral process. Why'd you vote for that?
Donald Trump was the first.
How old are you?
21.
When were you born?
2000.
On the count of three, everybody, fetus deletus. 3, 2, 1. Fetus deletus. Poof! Gone. Let's get up our next guest. Oh, that's a bot. Let's get up our next one. Again, folks, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request so that I can make fun of you, talk to you, so that I can talk to you. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Akeem, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate the love. Hi. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi, you vote for Donald Trump?
I honestly didn't vote, but if I would have voted, I would have voted for Donald Trump.
Gotcha. We got a little bit of background noise. I hear like creaking doors and
Why are you concerned about that?
because it's annoying.
Okay, so are you gonna ask me the question and let me
I'm
answer?
going to ask you to fix the background noise. I understand that there's
It's
anxiety in your voice. I
It's
hear the
fixed.
shake and the tone,
It's
and
fixed.
and I hear you're getting into a cracking voice. Listen, there's no reason to be nervous coming up here, okay?
No, I'm just a little irritated because you
No
just
reason
asked
to
the
be
question
irritated.
and then don't let anybody
You-
answer the damn question.
Calm down,
Like,
calm
yeah,
down,
you're
calm
crazy.
down, calm down.
Okay, let me.
You're getting anxious and nervous. There's no reason to be, okay?
But yeah,
Help
you're
me
shaking
understand
bells
this.
in people's
You just
faces.
said, excuse
You're
me.
Crazy. You're crazy.
Okay, did you come up here just to cry? You started
No,
it, right?
Are
You
you
just
gonna ask
started
me
it.
the question and let me
Okay,
answer?
calm down. Calm down.
you're crazy.
Ma'am, you're very calm down. No reason to have anxiety, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I said I didn't vote. I'm not gonna come on here and lie.
Right. So no vote, no voice. Goodbye. Let's get up our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button and the share button. Please help us get to 1 million likes. We are currently at 500,000. Hello, Annalie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I sure did.
Gotcha. How old are you?
I'm actually 23.
Gotcha. And when were you born?
2001.
Okay, and why'd you vote for the criminal sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon, right? The guy who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, the man responsible for overseeing the processes of his entire administration, the guy whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him, and whose own Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, ruled that he is a constitutional violator. More ironically, when it comes to the Second Amendment, why did you vote for that?
I'm a cosmetologist and I make money based off of my services with people paying money for them. And nobody has money to pay for services anymore because everything's too expensive. So that's why I voted for Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, but that's a legitimate reason.
No reason to be sorry for your ignorance. Listen, help me better understand this. How exactly is Donald Trump going to provide folks with more money to pay for your services? Because we recognize that his policies and his economic strategy is going to lead to higher costs, is going to lead to folks losing more money out of pocket. I mean, can you tell me what a tariff is?
Yes, tariff is like tax based, right?
What's a tariff? Okay, you don't know. The problem here might not be that folks don't have the money to pay for your services. It might just be that you're bad at your job.
No, I'm not.
And that's
mad.
not an insult, to be clear. I apologize if that sounds like an insult. It's more of an observation. When there's a barber
See,
that I
you're
don't
trying
like,
to be
no,
somebody
calm
that
down,
you're
calm down,
not.
calm down, calm down. I'm just saying, like, when there's a barber that I don't like, I don't go to them, and that's why they get 1-star reviews. I don't know what to tell you. Do better, right? You went to cosmetology school. It might be time to turn in that certificate that you got and, like, I don't know, try something else.
Actually,
Anyway,
I am
so-
in school to be an educator as well.
Oh, good. You definitely are going to want to pick a different career path.
No, because I have to do that because the economy is shit right now.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. The economy's doing better today than what it was under Donald Trump. I mean,
Oh,
for
hell
example,
no, it was
what's the inflation rate today?
It has doubled.
What is the inflation rate today?
I don't know. Why don't you ask everybody?
You said it doubled. How is it doubled? What is it double?
Well,
Like, what is
bread
double?
used
What
to
is the
be
number?
A lot cheaper than what it is right now.
Okay,
Basic
that's
stuff
not the
used to be a
inflation
lot.
rate. What is the inflation rate? Okay, you don't know. It's 2.1%. Under Donald Trump, the inflation rate was 2.4%. So it's lower today than that of what it was under Donald Trump. Additionally, let's recognize, for example, gas is at pre-pandemic levels on par with that of 2018. What you just said about costs being higher at the grocery store, can you tell me why those costs are higher at the grocery store?
Because cost of living and literally everything is increasing.
Okay, that didn't answer what I just said. So can you tell me how are costs higher at the grocery store?
Like you do.
It's not a statistic. I mean, you could literally go by
But I'm
feelings.
an average person and I know my
I would
cost
say
of
below
products-
average. But anyway, so tell me again, what led to higher costs at the grocery store?
You are being so ignorant. That's literally
Not really.
Yes,
So can
you
you just
are.
tell me again what led to higher costs at the grocery store?
Say that one more time.
What, oh my gosh. This is what I said, by below average.
No, you talk way too fast.
What led to higher cost? Hon, it's not I talk too fast, right? I talk pretty slow. You're just slow with processing. What led to higher costs at the grocery store?
It's just simple supply and demand.
Okay. No, it's not. So corporate greed led to higher costs at the grocery store. Kroger, just a couple months ago, came forward and admitted to price gouging after having been caught for hiking up costs well over 20%. Now, if inflation's 2.1%, that means that the Biden-Harris administration did their job. But if costs at the grocery store are double-digit percentiles higher than that of inflation, that is because of price gouging. Donald Trump doesn't have a single plan to combat price gouging. So you tell me, how is he going to cut costs?
Because he is going to open up more jobs for people.
Nope, that doesn't cut costs at the grocery store. Also, if you're worried about jobs, you would have voted for Kamala and Joe. They created double the amount of jobs that Donald Trump created on a monthly average, not on par with COVID economic jobs as a bounce back, right? So 178,000 jobs per month under Donald Trump, 400,000 under Kamala and Joe, not counting pandemic jobs. That's still double. So anyway, tell me again, how are you going to cut costs at the grocery store? You're going to cut costs at the grocery store? How? You don't know.
No, you're being retarded.
And there's the slur. Wow, that was so quick. Okay. Anyway, I would recommend that you turn in that certificate from cosmetology. Let's get up our next guest. I like that they can't answer a question and they immediately start going into insulting. It's crazy. Folks, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to support me, my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App are in my bio. I greatly appreciate it. If you do support me like that, please write your username on the Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App so that I can follow you after this live stream. Because if you're going to put your hard-earned dollars towards me, like, please let me follow you, if that's okay. And if you haven't already, please do hit that follow button in the top left corner and join our little family. We do these conversations every single day. Hi, guest. Thank you for the galaxy, Lucy. Susie, I can't hear you. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please hit the like button, hit the share button, help us get to 700,000 likes. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, gosh.
No, I wasn't waiting for the other one. I was waiting there. It was Susie something. So it's me. And it's not just to congratulate the Texans because one of the Trumpers.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming up. I am just looking to talk to some opposition right now. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Help us get to 700,000 likes.
Hey,
Hi,
Johnny.
Christine. How you doing?
I voted for Trump, and I'm going to need you to do this thing called Google. Because,
ma'am, trust me, I'm well aware how Google works.
The inflation rate is 2.6,
May I make it? Excuse me.
It-
Calm down. Oh my goodness gracious, calm down. You really came in here screaming and crying. I'm just trying to have a conversation here. And also, you coming in here and saying that the inflation rate today is now 2.6. Let's recognize 2.1% was yesterday. Then that's a very healthy inflation rate. 2.6 is still on par with exactly to that of which it was in 2018. You saying, Johnny, you need to Google the inflation rate. It changed this morning. Girl, 2.6 ain't bad. 2.6 is phenomenal. 2.6 is historically low. So thank you for doing the research and thank you for admitting that we have historically low
Johnny,
inflation thanks
you
to Joe
said that
Biden and Kamala Harris.
Biden-
Calm down. What I need you to do, again, I just responded to the matter. So you can either respond to why you voted for Donald Trump or continue crying and I'll move on to the next guest. It's up to you. Do you want to punch some air first before you go ahead? Why'd you vote for Donald Trump? Unmute. Oh, she ran away. Yeah, I knew it. She was looking to rage bait. Let's get up our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Desmond, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate the love. Said for eating these MAGAs. I appreciate it. Folks, listen, a lot of why we do these conversations is to educate, right? And not educate Trumpers. I'm not looking to educate Trumpers. I'm looking to make very clear, and this is, according to the algorithm, the most productive way to do so, what Donald Trump is looking at when it comes to the House budget. For example, let's talk about it here. Stephen, hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Okay, help me understand this. First off, how old are you?
I am 27.
When were you born?
97.
Okay. So help me understand this. The House Republican budget was put forth. 80% of the House Republican caucus endorsed the proposal. This was already put forth in March and re-put forth this last week. So it is going to be the proposal that they do adopt in the new year. This budget proposal offers a $1.5 trillion cut to Social Security. And lo and behold, what is left in the Social Security pot? $1.5 trillion. So they're cutting what's left. Then they're cutting the income tax, corporate tax, and Social Security tax. The corporate tax alone adds $400 billion to Social Security every single year. If you cut those taxes, you're cutting off the channel that funds Social Security. For those who collect Social Security or disability benefits, many of whom are veterans, how are you going to ensure that they don't end up homeless after you pass this budget that cuts Social Security, disability benefits, the ACA, Medicaid, Medicare, raises the retirement age to 69, and also cuts CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program? Go ahead. See, folks, education. This is why we do this. So go ahead.
So what was this bill about?
This is the House Republican budget.
For you said Social Security?
Correct.
So I am not quite aware of that budget bill.
See, education. So again, the House Republican budget put forth cuts $1.5 trillion out of the Social Security pot. What's left in the pot? $1.5 trillion. So they're taking out what's left. Then they're cutting the lifeline into Social Security, that being the income tax, corporate tax, and Social Security tax. Again, the Social Security tax adds $1.2 trillion to the budget. The corporate tax adds $400 billion to the Social Security pot. They're taking all that away. So Social Security, according to this budget, is gone. Medicare, Medicaid, they're cutting that. Disability benefits, gone. What are you going to do for those like veterans who rely on Social Security and disability, who now will not have access to that economic lifeline? Go ahead.
Well, Social Security isn't going away.
No, it is, according to this budget. I just explained that to you. You apparently chose not to listen.
Under Trump, he's going to get rid of the taxes on Social Security.
No, you're confused. So he's not getting, see, this is the misinformation, right? You're confused. You were misled. You voted for him because you thought he was cutting the taxes that you're paying when you collect Social Security. No, silly goose. He meant he was cutting the taxes that pay for Social Security. When you collect Social Security, the tax you're paying on it, he's not cutting that. He's cutting Social Security so that my tax, the Social Security tax I'm paying to build Social Security is cut. Does that make sense? You understand? So on my pay stub, listen closely. On my pay stub, it says Social Security tax, correct?
Okay.
I'm not collecting Social Security. I'm paying a tax that feeds into the Social Security pot. You think he's cutting the taxes that people get taxed when they collect Social Security. Elderly Americans are not getting a tax cut from their Social Security, and they're not getting more in Social Security. He is cutting my tax, the Social Security tax that pays to fund Social Security. Do you understand?
No, sir. Because the seniors are getting it.
No.
That's what they want. That's why.
Do you want to take a moment and go look up the House Republican budget? Go ahead.
That's why
Go
the
on.
senior
Go
citizens
on.
voted
Look
for
up
Trump.
House Republican budget. Go on, look up the House Republican budget. Take a moment.
I can look it up all I want, but the Democrats also dialed it up.
Kelsey, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate the love. Listen, can you just tell me without pivoting? I'm not asking you to tell me why you think this isn't going to happen. I just need you to tell me, what are you going to do for the veterans, the elderly Americans, and disabled Americans who are about to lose their economic lifeline? I don't need the whole back and forth. If you want to disprove it, just simply look it up. It takes 2 seconds of your time.
It's not going to be taken away from
Again, check the budget.
What happened to the budget? They passed it?
I'm going to need to move on to the next guest if you're not going to actually go by fact here and you're just going to go by your personal emotions. You could keep saying they're not cutting it. It's in the budget. It takes 2 seconds to Google it. If you're not willing to do that, just tell me and I can move on to the next guest. Helena, thank you so much for the $25. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much, Helena. Can you just respond or no? There you go. Good. He's got it. Steven's got it. If you haven't already, everybody hit that follow button in the top left corner and join our little family. Again, I want to be clear here. The reason we do these conversations is to educate on these policies. Come the new year, once the inauguration hits, we will be talking about executive orders and immediate actions taken through the legislature. So we do have to look forward to that because it's going to be a lot of information coming at us, and we're going to continue breaking it down in a way that's more comprehensive. Until then, we're going to continue talking about the House Republican budget and proposals that are being put forth by the House Republican caucus. And we could also talk about channels to outline exactly how those will not pass. But until then, we're going to be waiting for Stephen to come back so that we can hear all about how he thinks the Republicans aren't cutting Social Security. You have exactly 15 seconds, Stephen. Here's your music. All right, Stephen, are you done? 3, 2, 1. Okay, bye, Stephen. Let's get up our next guest. I wasn't going to wait like all day for him. That was a lot of time. I was being very generous there. Oh, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, and Mary as well. Folks, again, if you are supporting me on Venmo or PayPal, please, write your username on that so that I can follow you after this, if that's okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Ew. How old are you?
25.
When were you born?
May 31st, 1991.
Girl, you didn't have to give the whole. I just needed a year. We ain't got to do
just asked me.
You're like my Social Security girl. Okay, so why'd you vote for Donald Trump?
Well, I don't think men should be in women's restrooms.
Okay, I don't think anybody should be in anybody's restrooms. How about you just go alone?
No, well, I saw one in my gym.
Ma'am, that was a mirror.
Room. So, it's more of a anti-LGBT.
Okay, so help me understand this once more. So you're just saying that you don't want men in women's restrooms, women in men's restrooms. Okay, fine and dandy. I don't really want anybody in the restroom when I'm in the restroom, right? I'd rather go potty alone.
You know what I mean? Men dressed up as women. I don't really think it's right.
Man, why does it matter to you what somebody else is doing?
Because it's a whole man.
Maybe you should focus on. Here's an example. First and foremost, again, instead of being concerned, right, Kimberly? Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Instead of being concerned about what somebody's wearing or what restroom they're using, first and foremost, the restroom conversation you're having is very odd. Okay. You shouldn't be advocating against people using proper restrooms in accordance to gender or whatever the case be. You should just do what Starbucks does, where they have a unisex bathroom and one person goes in at a time. Hold on. You're not listening, Alexandra. You're preparing to speak on whatever you want to say next. You need to listen first.
I'm listening.
Again, you are saying, well, I don't want men in women's restrooms. I don't want men in men's
Also, I
restrooms
want
either.
men
I don't want,
in
listen
women's
very closely. You're not
sports.
listening. I don't want men in men's restrooms either. I don't want men in any restrooms. I don't want women in it. Go use your own restroom, right? It should be one person per restroom. In America, we're very prehistoric when it comes to restrooms. We're one of a few countries that do the whole communal potty thing. It's weird. It's weird. You should just have one restroom per person. Why are we making this all like, right? Is that weird? I feel like it's normal to be like, I want to go potty alone. I don't need to have a ton of people in there as I do my business. You're over here saying men should be allowed in the women's restroom, gender, blah, blah, blah. Huh? This really isn't that deep. I'd rather go to the restroom alone. Maybe the same way at home. Like, you grow up, you know how your family had a restroom? Sorry, did you all go at the same time? Like, there's 6 of you in your family. Did you all go to the restroom at the same time? No, one person went in at a time. Kate, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate it. But just a thought. Anyway, ma'am, I understand, though, that this has nothing to do with restrooms for you. You're just blatantly homophobic, right? So we're just going to move on to the next guest. Anyway, I just think that bathroom conversation is so odd, right? Like, am I wrong? Like, it's really not that deep. People being like, oh, men shouldn't use women's restrooms and blah, blah, blah. I get it's based out of homophobia. Y'all, really, one person per restroom, it really should just be individual restrooms. Like, I really don't think it's that deep. We're like one of the few countries that have communal potties. It's not normal. Like, this isn't like her running around saying, men shouldn't be in the women's restroom. Ma'am, men shouldn't be in the men's restroom either. There should be one person per potty. Just a thought. It's like not that deep. Like, I don't know. Where I went to school, we had unisex restrooms, one person per potty. You go to Starbucks, it's the one potty, one person per potty. Just a thought. Just a thought. I don't know. I feel like we're so prehistoric. The fact that they're so concerned about potties. But then again, it really has nothing to do with potties, right? It's just they're. Okay. Again, folks, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please hit the like button, hit the share button, help us get to 1 million likes. I feel like we could hit 1 million likes. I feel like we can. Okay, moving on. Like, let's be so clear. Anyway, Nikki, hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I did.
How old are you?
20.
When were you born?
2004.
Why'd you vote for a criminal, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon who was found to be a constitutional violator by his own Supreme Court?
Do you know how hard it is to live on your own these days? Do you pay your own bills?
No, George Soros does. It's very nice. You should I would recommend, if you ever see him, introduce yourself. He just throws money at you.
I want to point out how you were.
Anyway, ma'am, listen, without the pivot, what I need you to do here is just tell me why you had voted for Donald Trump. You're saying, well, life is hard. Okay, if life is hard, excuse me, if life is hard, how would it be better under Donald Trump? Go ahead. Okay, crickets, and she ran away. We got a runner! Move! We got a runner! Yeah! All right, let's get up our next guest. That's absolutely insane. All I did was ask such a simple question. All I said was, how would life be better under Donald Trump? What was... Christine, thank you so much for the love on PayPal. I appreciate it, Christine. Okay, trying to get up our next guest. I can't. That was funny. That was actually funny. Oh my gosh. Folks, if you haven't already, hit that follow button in the top left corner and join our family. We do these conversations every single day. Waiting for our next guest to come up. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit that like button, hit the share button. Help us get to 1 million likes. We're at less than 200,000 likes away from it, so I feel like we can get there. If we could get there, that would be phenomenal. Okay. Man, trying to get up our next guest here. Why are they all running? Trumpers, why are you running away from me? Don't be scared. Coming up. Hi, how you doing? Anna said, I'm running too. I'm out. Okay, let's get up for next guest. That was kind of funny. Anna was like, nope. Oh my gosh. The amount of calories I'm burning from these MAGA Republicans running away is insane. Hi, China. How you doing? Okay. I wanted to get ghosted. I don't care. Let's get up our next guest. Hi, how you doing? Is it Vincent or Vincente? Belinda, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. That is beyond kind. Thank you for the love. Belinda, please, write your username on that. Let me follow you on TikTok. Hi, what's your name?
Hey, can you hear me? My mic working?
Yep. What's your name?
You can call me Vince. Went to school.
Okay, Vince. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did. I just want to preface that I don't think that he was the best Republican candidate, but I do think that he was the best between the two that we had.
I disagree. And yet I agree. I think that first off, he was not better than Kamala Harris, period. Kamala Harris was, between Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris is overly qualified to be president. Let's make something clear, right? District Attorney, Attorney General of the largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice. She prosecuted criminals like Donald Trump, senator, vice president, negotiated the deal to the infrastructure package, period. She was overly qualified to be president. If I was to pick Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or Kamala, I would have picked Kamala every single time. Then you look at Donald Trump and you're saying, oh, you know what? He's probably not the best candidate for the Republicans. And I agree. You should have picked Nikki Haley. If this was Joe Biden against Nikki Haley, yeah, Nikki Haley would have won by a lot, period. And yet you didn't. You picked Donald Trump. So now you got to own up to his far right extremist policies. And I'm going to ask you about one of them. In Florida, SB 1718 was signed by Governor DeSantis. This bill led to 40% of farmers being deported, as 40% of farmers were undocumented migrants. Now, additionally, we have to recognize that this led to a $13 billion gap in Ron DeSantis' GDP in 1 month alone, that month being last month. This is mass deportation, and this is the policy that Donald Trump is looking to implement on a national level, which is going to lead to 40% of migrants across the country and the agricultural industry being deported. So, my first question is part A, how are you going to ensure that there's not a workforce development crisis when it comes to agriculture? And part B, the $300 to $450 billion national GDP gap that the Federal Reserve says that this policy will lead to, how are you going to ensure that that gap doesn't cause a recession? Go ahead.
Okay, so can you repeat? I'm not too familiar with that bill. You said was it Rob DeSantis that?
His name's Ron.
Ron?
SB 1718. This bill was mass deportation. Democrats provided pathway to citizenship called the Farm Workforce Modernization Act, but Republicans blocked it because turned out it wasn't about having a pathway to citizenship and it wasn't about legal migrants coming in. MAGA Republicans wanted no migrants coming in any scenario. They deported 40% of migrants in the agricultural industry, and that led to a workforce development crisis for generational farmers, as those in Florida do not want to do that labor-intensive work. So, you're going to implement this policy on a national level. It's going to cut your GDP by about $300 to $450 billion in 1 year and cut 40% of farmers out of the agricultural industry, leading to a production crisis. How are you going to solve that issue you are looking to cause with Donald Trump's policy? And he ran away! Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got another runner. Yeah! Herd the cattle, everybody. That's crazy. That is crazy. Was the question too hard? I feel like that's crazy. Apparently the question was too hard. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I just wanted to come up because that last guy was confused about that.
Shalonda, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate the love.
Sorry, we had fields rotting, dude, and bugs, like crazy amounts of bug infestations, like hard to find produce in the grocery
Why are you
store.
running around Mar-a-Lago? It's not, listen, I don't care about the bug infestations
No.
of Mar-a-Lago.
I voted for Kamala. I'm saying because they.
Oh, I appreciate you coming up. I am just looking to talk to opposition right now. Thank you for coming up, though. Let's get up our next guest, and let's get some W's in the chat. By the way, I appreciate him coming up.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, hold on 1 second. Fetus deletus. Poof. Okay. Whew, got them out of there. That was. Whew. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get up our next guest. Oh, nope, they're not coming up. Let's try one more. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. Don't be shy. Hi. Oh. Okay. I think they're scared. And rightfully so. That's okay. Somebody commented she didn't want no smoke. Yeah, I know. I think they're scared to come talk to me at this point. Hi, Mary. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Oh. Oh my gosh. I can't. Maybe it's because of the wand. I'm holding the wand and so they disappear. Hi, Sue. How you doing? Sue? Okay, bye, Sue. We love you. Let's get up our next guest. Okay. We're having fun here. Oh, sorry, the diabolical laugh. I got it from my mama. I can't change it. People are like, your laugh sounds evil. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm sorry. It's how I was born. You know, you ever ask Dr. Doom, right? Dr. Doom's got an evil laugh. He was just born that way. Anyway, hi, guys. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Sure did.
How old are you?
26.
When were you born?
1998, August 16th.
Okay, you don't have to give the full... What's next? You want to give your social security? So why'd you vote for a criminal sexual abuser, civil fraudster who was found to be a constitutional violator by his own Supreme Court?
It came down to the wars we're funding.
You're not funding wars. What do you mean?
Well, it's the money we're giving to Israel and the money we're giving to Ukraine.
Who gave that money to Israel and Ukraine?
Well, who... So every president, every 10 years, we renew our Israel bill.
Gave the money to Ukraine and Israel?
Under the Biden administration, it was us.
Biden does not have the authority in the executive branch to allocate that funding. Do you understand that? Congress does. The same way that you MAGA Republicans were telling Joe Biden to offer money to those in North Carolina affected by the hurricane, he can't. That's not his job. He's not allowed to. That would be in violation of the executive branch's authority. That's Congress. You understand that?
No,
okay. So you said, well, there's foreign aid. That came from Mike Johnson and the Republican caucus, who hold the House majority. Thank you, folks, for 1 million likes. That is beyond amazing. Thank you for liking the live.
I think you're. I think just because you're talking fast doesn't mean you're right.
I'm not talking fast. You're processing slow. So help me understand once more. Do you recognize that there are 3 branches of governments? Can you do me a favor and name them? You can't name them?
Judicial.
Okay.
Legislative.
Okay.
And executive.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, what do we recognize is the check and balance between the legislative and executive branch?
So check this out. You're saying that the president wasn't funding these wars. Like, are we serious about this?
Who passed the policies?
Signed an extra
Who passed the foreign aid policy? Excuse you. You're not understanding. You're not. Nope. That's Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson came from Congress. The executive branch does not allocate funding. Do you understand that the executive? You're not listening. Okay.
I'm trying to listen, but then
you're not. You're just trying to speak. Do you understand that the executive branch does not allocate funding? Yes or no? Whenever you're ready, unmute. Again, do you understand that the executive branch does not allocate funding? Yes or no? Unmute and respond to that. Yes or no? Do you understand?
When our president's
okay, so you think that the executive branch allocates funding? Wow, that's insane.
We go to war when
that is insane. Excuse you. Excuse you.
Yes
You're not at war right now anywhere across the globe, but you are pivoting. So again,
friends
you just said that the executive branch allocates funding. That's not how the executive branch works. That's the legislative branch. That's the legislative branch.
Do you have power?
You're pivoting. Let's move on to our next guest. I can't talk to somebody who doesn't know how the executive and legislative branch operate. I mean, that's not even listen, I've talked to some ignorant people. That's next level. Hi, Evan. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Oh, absolutely not.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. W's in the chat. Let's get up our next guest. Like, if you're going to run around saying that the executive branch was responsible for allocating the funding to Ukraine when that funding comes from the legislative branch. Like, I don't know what to say.
I voted Harris. I was tapping. Sorry. I'm a black woman. Of course, I voted for Harris. Sorry.
I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much for liking the live. Hope you have a good one, okay?
I love you from Diapa's live. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I love you right back. Thank you so much for coming up. They allocate the money. That's a bot. I see the IP address. It's Vladimir Putin. It's Putin. It's Putin. Putin's on our live.
What's up?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for educating these people.
Hey, more than happy to. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Alrighty, folks. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request so that I can make fun of, talk to you, so that I can talk to you. I'm going to do something that's going to trigger a lot of MAGA Republicans. It's called lip balm. All right, let's get up our next guest. Slowly but surely. Maybe we'll do something that'll make him feel more comfortable.
Trump won. You gotta deal with it for the next year, bitch.
Is that your laugh?
Nigga.
Oh, you can't be running around saying that stuff on a live stream. My gosh. Was that like your voice? Is that like, are you really stuck with that? Thank you so much for the galaxy. Like, are you stuck with that voice? I mean, I would go to speech therapy after that one. I don't know about. Yeah, I mean, that was deeply upsetting. I feel bad. Hi. Okay, next. My hands are Italian, so they're too big for Donald Trump, so I got the little baby hand.
VPN's only on my computer.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
So you kicked me last time.
Hello!
Bot.
Hello! I can't hear you. Hello?
Yes.
Hello! It is I, your favorite convicted felon.
Yeah, I voted for Trump.
China!
The
Rasta!
stock market.
North Korea!
People that invest in crypto.
Hello! I can't hear you.
Zelensky.
Hello! What?
President Zelensky is saying
Nikki Haley's the Speaker of the House. Mercedes Trump's my wife. Hello.
Oh, and the way that you
Hello. I can't hear you. All right, let's move on. I'm done playing with that one. The food got old and cold. I can't. All right, let's get up our next guest. Was that too much? I'm deceased. That was too funny. That was funny. I feel like this next guest is going to be a bot, but we'll find out. Eileen, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. That is beyond kind. And Lori, thank you so much for the love too. As well as Denise. Thank you so much, folks. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
What?
How are you? I just asked how you are.
Good. Sorry, but the mic's breaking up a little bit. Would you mind rejoining? The mic's breaking up a little bit. Rejoin and I'll bring you back up. That was cutting out. I don't know if that was me or you though. That might have been me. Hi.
Hey, I'm calm a little bit. Can I just see your shirt real quick?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You like?
Oh
You like?
my god, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
I also have a massive tattoo of her on my back too, which I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Have a good one. Thank you for coming out. Let's get up our next guest. I love the shirt. The only issue is that sometimes the face will fold and it'll be like this. Like that. You know what I mean? So where's the shirt from? So her name's OG of the HRC, and she makes these amazing shirts. Absolutely love them. Okay, let's get up our next guest. Like, you know what I mean? Like the shirt will fold and it'll be like like this or something. Anyway, hi Pete. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Oh gosh, you really made your profile photo a photo of just what? Two elderly convicted felons hanging out. Yeah,
I'm not old.
Wow. that's that's up for interpretation. So anyway, why'd you vote for the criminal sexual abuser, civil fraudster felon who violated the Constitution and was ruled a fascist by his own chief of staff?
Because you guys lost it. You guys
Anyway, can you
lost.
just respond?
You guys lost the election. Because
And
people like you and
again,
Harry
no,
are
people lost.
disrespecting-
Excuse.
Steven's got the popular vote.
Listen, cutie. The fact of the matter is, right, Pookie? Kamala Harris did not win the election because of ignorant people like yourself. Got it? Okay. All right, honey. You understand?
Kamala Harris.
Listen,
lost
again,
the election.
it was ignorance like you. If you took 1 second to Google, you would understand that Kamala Harris was the qualified candidate and Donald Trump, in fact, was nothing more than a felon. I just need you to tell me why, Uncle Daddy, you voted for the felon. Whenever you're ready.
Here. This is why you lost, because you
Oh my
disrespected-
gosh, just answer.
Why don't you
Why do
let
you
me
want to
talk?
cry? If you're going to
Why
keep
do you
crying.
have a script?
If
Why
you're
do you
gonna
have a
cry-
script like Kamala?
Shh, if you're going to cry, can you cry into this cup? Because we could save the tears, send it off to Utah for their next drought.
Brother,
Can you
don't have.
Go ahead. Oh, I caught some tears. Oh, I caught another one. Oh, there. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Utah's going to be great. Thank you for replenishing their rivers. So help me better understand. Why did you vote for Donald Trump? If you don't respond this time, I'm just going to move on to the next guest.
Go suck it, man.
Okay, I'm sure you would love to watch me do that, but everybody's got their kinks. Let's move on to the next guest. Closets class. Hi. Bye. What? Okay. I don't think they want to come up and talk to me. I think they think I'm mean, but I'm not mean. I'm just Italian, you know? W Italians in the chat. Where's our Italians at, by the way? Someday. Thank you so much for the galaxy. Oh, we are almost at our live goal. We are 80% to our live goal. That's crazy. Thank you for the galaxy. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, Johnny. How are you?
Doing good. You vote for Donald Trump?
I did not, but I have one. Well, what is wrong with these people that things
Everything?
are smacked in their face that it's going to go wrong, and they still cannot?
Yeah, I appreciate coming up. I am just looking to talk to opposition right now, but to answer your question, everything is wrong with them. Pretty much everything. Well, let me think. Nope, that's wrong with them too. How about, nope, that's also wrong with them. What about that? No, that's, yeah, pretty much everything is just wrong with them. W's in the chat for Boston Girl. Thank you for coming up. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I just want you to ask. No, please listen. I'm a sexual assault survivor, and I want them to realize putting someone like that into that power diminishes us. I can't trust someone, that did that kind of thing.
Right.
And where does that put us as having been sexually abused?
Right. Listen, the fact of the matter is, first and foremost, thank you for feeling, comfortable enough to talk about this subject.
Right.
We got to recognize that Donald Trump is not a qualified candidate, is a candidate that does not speak to the values of America. Rather, he speaks to the values of a felon, sexual abuser, and civil fraudster, and nothing more. And we will continue to hold him accountable to that standard. This is our new reality, though, and we need to understand that. And this is the man who is our president-elect. And while it's god-awful, I would give it probably 2 years until his next impeachment. I would imagine he's probably going to get impeached real quick.
Hey.
Fetus deletus. Poof. Next. Oh, well, I say 2 years, guys, because we're going to need to take back the House first before, his first impeachment, right? But I would give it a solid 2 years before he gets an impeachment. And he will get an impeachment. Like, there's no doubt he will be impeached. There will be an impeachment. Do we know that it will pass the Senate? Like, no, we don't know that. There will definitely be an impeachment, though, in the House. He does not know how to operate in the essence of a president. He does not know how to perform his duties as a president. The guy, pursues quid pro quos like he pursues illegal immigrants, right? Like Melania and Ivana. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation. Hi, Julie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did not, but I have a question that I wanted to ask to help maybe further
I appreciate
expand
it.
on.
I appreciate it. Guys, so let's set a quick boundary here. Last night, after our live streams, we spoke to Kamala supporters for like 4 hours. Before that, we spoke to Trump supporters for 4 hours. And a lot of this is about education. I want to talk about the policy. In part, this is entertainment and education. I have asked a few times that if you are a Kamala supporter, the best way to support this live right now is by liking it and sharing it. If you are a Trump supporter, please join the guest request. But if you are a Kamala supporter in the guest request, as the last 3 guests have been, please, revoke that request to join. We will be back later talking to Kamala supporters. Please join then. Okay? Thank you. We do conversations with both sides of the aisle, but right now the question is, if you are voting for Trump, would you join the live stream so that we could talk about the policy? Thank you. Victoria, hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? All right, let's get up our next guest. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay. All right. No, that's glitching out. Next up. Thank you for the Elvis hat. I do think that Trumpers are a little too scared to come and talk to me, though. And I mean, rightfully so. If you're a Trump supporter and you're, got a little bit of courage, come on, come talk to me. Don't be shy. I'm such a nice guy. People tell me all the time, you go to China, you look to Russia, and everybody agrees Johnny's very nice. Hello. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay, and goodbye. We're going to try a few more. And then maybe we will just come back and do some do Kamala supporters. Hi, Dan. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
Ew. Why did you vote for a criminal sexual abuser, civil fraudster who was found to be a constitutional violator in accordance to his own Supreme Court? Somebody whose own chief of staff, who oversaw his entire administration, called him a fascist, and whose vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him for the presidency?
He seemed like a better candidate than Kamala.
Yeah. Excuse you. In what sense?
He had better policies, and
Name one.
He
Name one.
One.
Hurry up. Yeah, one. Name one policy. Hurry up. Come on.
One. The prison one. Number one.
The prison one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the prison one?
First step. First step.
Oh, I think I broke him.
First step.
This is like right after the holidays, you get a toy from the dollar store and you immediately break it. Like, you good? I think he's trying to run away now. My voice is part of your cell phone. You can either rejoin the live stream and then properly do the walk of shame as you exit. There you go.
First step. First act. First act.
You ChatGPT'd something. Congrats. And what is the policy?
First act.
What is the policy?
The policy is to let people go over.
He wants to let criminals go? Oh my gosh. You know what? That adds up. He's a felon.
Well, he did it, and I was one of them.
Oh, you were one of the felons he let go?
Yeah, and I think he did a great job, and he gave us.
So no
rights to
wonder
come
you
back.
like him. You relate. You're both felons. So you're advocating for Donald Trump letting criminals go. Okay.
I mean, criminals can reform. People can reform. People can
but
change.
you clearly didn't, right? Because you're a felon who just voted for a felon. I mean, if you reformed,
that's
I mean, I
criminal
would
now?
just imagine that you probably wouldn't be endorsing a felon for the presidency, but clearly you didn't learn much. So help me better understand this. You're advocating for a felon who released you, who was a felon. Clearly you weren't going to support Kamala. She is a prosecutor and you don't have a good record with those. Help me better understand. Tell me one policy that Donald Trump wants to pass that will economically benefit you.
I just told you the one that benefited me.
Yeah, I'm telling you to tell me one policy that Donald Trump passed. First off, you saying that Donald Trump is going to let criminals go is not going to benefit anybody but yourself. And that is not a reason to vote for Donald Trump. That's a reason to vote against Donald Trump. And I'm trying to help you here by moving into the economy. If you want to continue saying that Donald Trump is going to let criminals go, fine and dandy. Feel free to keep saying it.
But the economy has been terrible for 4 years. You know that.
And let me get this right. You're a felon and you said you voted for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I was allowed to vote.
What state?
Virginia.
Dang, Virginia. Y'all are wild. Virginia just lets felons
These are
vote.
facts. These are facts.
I ain't saying it's not a fact. I'm just saying Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, he might be on something. I mean, that's... In a way, is that real?
Well,
really?
did 98% of people vote in the United States for a felon? I think they did.
Did you just say that 98% of people vote for a felon? No, 98. Donald Trump did not win the election by 98% of the electorate. Are you good?
What did he win it by?
Oh,
then?
you're straight up sundowning.
What did he win by?
Not 98% of the electorate. My gosh. I'm sorry, you think Kamala got 2% of the electorate?
I don't think she even got whatever.
Oh.
Because all of these are moot points at this point.
Help me understand something. You advocated.
All of these are moot points. Your candidate
Felons
lost.
can vote. Felons can vote in Virginia. Oh my gosh. Well, I know where I'm not moving.
Now you're enlightened, sir. Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm enlightened. I'm just disappointed. But anyway, help me better understand this. You're advocating for Donald Trump because he lets criminals go, which is
because
odd.
you
Excuse you.
superseded.
Calm down. You said that you're advocating for Donald Trump because he's letting criminals go. You're then suggesting that you have no cognitive ability to pursue this conversation because you said 98% of the electorate voted for Donald Trump. 98% of the electorate did not vote for Donald Trump. Not even 50% of the electorate actually voted for Donald Trump. So I'm trying to understand where your math comes from. And it seems to me that you should actually had been somebody who voted for Kamala Harris because she would have invested in the health care that would have provided you with the medication you need to solve your sundowning crisis. I have a question for you regarding Social Security. Are you ready? Voter for Trump. Anyway, my goodness gracious. Hi, Miles. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
Ew. So why'd you vote for the sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon who was ruled to be a constitutional violator in accordance to his own Supreme Court?
Because
I wasn't done. The guy that wasn't done. The guy who's on vice president. The guy who's on vice president said that he wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him. Robin, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate the love. Hurry up. Unmute. Did that not work? Let me unmute. Miles. Unmute. Are these things broken? There you go. Got it. So tell me again, he's a constitutional violator. Why'd you want to vote for that?
Because he stands for everything you don't stand for.
Yeah, right. You mean like America? Yeah, I know. I support America. He doesn't.
America. 87%.
Well, I mean, he doesn't stand for
America
elderly.
thought so.
Did you just say he won the election by 80%? 80. I'm sorry. Did you just say
8.
what? Where? So you're suggesting that 87% of the electorate voted for him, and that 13% voted for Kamala? Really? The math is insane. I know that math ain't your forte, but my gosh, this is why you MAGA Republicans shouldn't be advocating for defunding the Department of Education. That is insane. Let's just move on to our next guest. I ain't talking to somebody who doesn't know how to math. That's crazy. That's crazy. Be cool. Stay in school. Be like Lauren Boebert. Get your GED. Lauren Boebert definitely thinks that a GED is pronounced GED. Hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay, next up. We're going to try a couple more. Hello, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 19.
No, you're not. Let's move on. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Stephanie? Okay, bye. We'll miss you. All right, let's get up our next guest. Again, if you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest requests. Let's have a conversation. I'm sure this next guest is going to be very intelligent and certainly not a conspiracy theorist whatsoever. Oh, I even think they're coming up. We might need to do a live stream restart, and that's okay. Oh, that's a fetus. Fetus deletus. Don't forget, everybody, fetus deletus is not a spell that you can use in these following states: Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Alaska. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay, next.
Hello. What? Why are you just sitting there silent? Okay, this is what your show is, I guess. I'll see you.
Whew, thank gosh, guys. I thought he was never going to leave. Oh, he's back! Andy's coming!
What the hell are you talking about, weirdo? Why are you so weird?
Alright, let's move on. I can't. Did you guys all get the Andy's coming reference? Where's my millennials at? I know you know. Hey, Melissa, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did, and you don't need to go through your speech. I've heard it already.
Well, okay. I mean, you don't get to tell me what I do and don't do, so I'm going to do it anyway, okay? Why'd you vote for the sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon? I wasn't done.
Oh.
The guy who said, you know, that he should have been overturning the Constitution in accordance to the Electoral College so that he could remain as president. He asked his own vice president to do so, and that's why his vice president didn't run with him, let alone endorse him.
Are you done now?
No. Constitutional violator. Okay, now I'm done.
Are you sure?
Twice impeached. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Buried his wife on a golf course.
Okay, well, one of the reasons that I voted for Donald Trump is that I like the transparency. I like the fact that he
transparency.
could...
He lied to you.
Can you let me speak?
Let me think.
Please?
No.
Okay.
He lied to you. Time and again. I mean, he said he was going to cut costs. How is he going to cut costs? Oh, she ran! Aww. Did I hurt your feelings? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. Gosh, I'm so sorry. And on Sunday, too. The Holy Sunday. Hi, Michael. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
How old are you?
25.
When were you born?
99.
Why'd you vote for a felon, sexual abuser, civil fraudster who was found to be a constitutional violator according to his own Supreme Court? The same guy whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him, and whose own chief of staff called him a fascist?
I just want to know why you muted me. I think I said Jesus is king.
Oh, because they think it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you said that you voted for Donald Trump. Do you want to own up to why, or no? You just came up here to cry?
No, I'm not crying.
Okay, so then why'd you vote for the felon?
I'm just going to sit here.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to our next guest. He goes, why'd you mute me? Because it's fun? Like what? Why else? Hi, Dawn. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I didn't.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it. Let's get some W's in the chat, and let's get up our next guest. Hello. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Gotcha. What's your name?
Nick.
Gotcha. Can I change it?
To what?
Dick.
Yeah, you're a typical leftist idiot.
What'd I say?
Yeah, a typical leftist idiot.
What'd I do? I just wanted to... Oh my gosh, rude. I didn't say anything. I just wanted to change your name and prefer Dick better than Nick. I mean, I just thought it was a better name. I don't know. Gosh, no reason to get testy. Anyway, folks, we're going to do a live stream restart. If you haven't already, in the top left corner, hit that follow button and join our family. We do these conversations every single day. He was too stunned. He was shocked. That's funny. That's funny right there. Folks, half of what we do is education, half of what we do is entertainment. So if you're looking to learn about policy, but you're also looking to get a good laugh at the same time, feel free to hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are going to come back in a little bit, but it's about lunchtime, so it's time to go eat. I hope that y'all have a good lunch. What are you folks doing for lunch, by the way? You folks have lunch planned out? What are y'all doing? Getting anything good? Oh, got lunch planned? Pulled pork? Oh, that sounds good. Oh, pulled pork sounds so good. Soup, pizza, cereal, Subway. Subway. I have a Subway close by. I should do Subway. Panera. Oh, I'm jealous. I love Panera. Panera is the best food in the world. A few thank yous I want to say real quick. A massive thank you to everybody who had supported me on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App today. Never feel the need to do that, first off, but if you do, please write your username on that Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App so that I can follow you after the live. I like to follow back. So like Priscilla, thank you so much for the love, and Victoria and Becky, Chris, thank you so much. Eileen, Lori, Denise, Jennifer, Kate, Kimberly, Chrissy, thank you so much for the love, folks. Again, feel no need to write your username on that, but if you want to, I would love to follow you back. Anyhow, folks, we'll be back. Everybody go have a good lunch. See you on want them here whatsoever in any form or scenario because Republicans blocked the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. So again, guests, my question to you would be, after you deplete the agriculture industry of 40% of its employees, what is your solution to ensure that they don't struggle to meet the supply and demand of produce? Or, for example, we know that this will lead to higher costs at the grocery store. This is exactly as it's done in Florida. How will you solve that crisis you're going to cause as you implement mass deportation?
Well, also, I'm in the research and development field, and technology has come a long way to help gather some of these fruits and products that are usually done by hand because they're quite delicate. And I'll go back to it. Yes, if we eliminate it, well, it's going to be a little bit of a hard subject, but we're going to replace those people with other people with opportunities.
So
I thought you were going to lower your grocery prices. How is it going to lower grocery prices if now we have to?
I didn't say it was going to lower it.
Well, also important to recognize,
eventually,
you just made the case on two subjects as to why nobody should have voted for Trump. In part one, you're saying that Donald Trump is going to replace jobs that could be employed by the American worker with technology. So he's going to quite literally take our jobs. Okay,
but
and then
just
second,
said,
I'm not
wait a
done.
minute.
Oh, I
So
might
can I
actually,
say real quick?
maybe you were mistaken. I wasn't finished. Second point being, you are suggesting that technology has come a long way. Well, apparently it hasn't come far enough because, again, you look at Florida, and in Florida, they are already dealing with the effects of mass deportation. They've lost 40% of farmers, and they have also dealt with a $13 billion blow to the stomach. So I'm telling you, in Florida, your theory would be, well, technology should have solved that crisis, and yet it hasn't. So
no, I didn't say it has. Let me
right, but your response was technology will make up the difference. So
Well,
2
you just said
points.
we're gonna
One
lose
being
40%, correct?
2 points. One being, you shouldn't be advocating for replacing the American worker or American workforce development opportunities with technology. Two, you should recognize that your theory is redundant because that's not what is happening in Florida as we speak.
Okay, but can I answer real quick? You just, again, proved one of my points. So we remove 40% of the undocumented illegals, whatever you want to call them, and we replace them with American workers. Now the Americans have jobs.
That's not what you said.
Americans aren't doing those jobs.
Right.
Nobody
There's
wants
another
to do
problem.
that.
There's a mathematical problem here. Okay, that hasn't been discussed, sir. What American workers? And I want you to keep in mind that the American workforce today, all able-bodied Americans that can work today, have the capability of 2.1 jobs per person right now. So, with that said, what workforce? What Americans?
What do you mean, what Americans? We have people that are sitting all around. I've been down to Florida and I've seen homeless people. Unfortunately,
Sir,
they go down there because of the weather.
We're at a 4% unemployment rate.
Well, he just said homeless people, the very ones they're going to round up and put in concentration camps. He wants to put them to work. Wouldn't that constitute as slave labor?
Sir, do you understand what the unemployment, it would, but do you know what the unemployment rate means, sir?
Yes,
Do you
I
know
do.
what the unemployment rate is, sir? We got down
Yes,
to
they just claimed it was less than
3.4%, by the way.
You're talking about forced labor on homeless people.
Yeah, so
No,
did
no.
he just suggest that veterans who have PTSD, people who have addiction problems that are going to be round up and put in jail if they don't submit to the treatment that Trump wants to force on federal land, by the way? He's going to use
No, I
federal
just said that there
land
was
to put
homeless
them.
people
He's going.
that had
I'm
need
speaking.
jobs.
I am
I understand,
speaking.
but
You
you're
will
forcing
not
words in my
talk
mouth now.
over me. You
You're
will not.
forcing words in
You
my
will
mouth there,
not.
ma'am.
You will not. I don't know what it is about your testosterone levels, men, but let me make it very fucking clear. You will not speak over either Diva or myself on this live. Do I make myself clear? And for some self-loathing Mexicano that you are, you should be ashamed of yourself. That you literally come up here and preach that you, sir, are a first-generation Mexicano and you're pulling the ladder up for everyone behind you, but you came from immigrants. You are shameful.
Okay, Johnny, I saw your message. I agree, Jim.
You do you. You do you. You do you.
Yes.
But if you're going to drag down yourself, don't drag down women across America with you.
That builds me up a lot.
No, it doesn't build you up to tell yourself that you are less than that of a man. Are you out of your mind?
Let me tell you something. I am smarter than my husband.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I
Actually,
am.
statistically proven.
you
Now
should
you
build
finally
my
said something right. Statistically proven,
I
women
build
are
my
smarter.
husband with the
Excuse
glory
me.
of God.
Statistically proven, women are smarter than that of men. Also, a woman's brain develops far faster than that of a man, which is why men, until they're typically 27 or 28, are far more immature than women who are 27 or 28. Now, stepping back into this, you make me question that. You make me question that statistic. You make me question that theory because you are on here saying that you are less than that of a man, which is insane. And again, ma'am, if you want to drag yourself down, you do you. You can be a handmaid if you want to, but you should not be dragging down women across America with you. If you want to define yourself as nothing more than your husband's wife, you do you. But women across America would like to be far more than just some guy's wife. And when you say, you literally said, I am strong and I am smart because I uplifted my husband, that is not normal rhetoric. That is not normal rhetoric. That's not even old-fashioned rhetoric. That is blatant Handmaid's Tale rhetoric. You understand? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you some advice here. Divorce your husband. You're welcome. I just saved you so much time from a divorce that was going to happen inevitably down the road anyway. Let's get up our next guest. Ma'am, blink twice if you need help. Oh my gosh. Hi, Maddie. How you doing?
Hi.
You vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I'm a woman who voted for Donald Trump.
Gotcha. How old are you?
I am 26.
Okay, so you're 26 and Donald Trump's America. You voted so that you could have less than, you voted to have less rights than me because?
I don't think you have.
What state are you from?
I'm from California. I'm a Republican living in a blue state.
Okay, so your right to choose will be protected because you're in California and Gavin Newsom is a Democratic governor. Yet women in red states, you voted away their right to choose. So women across America have less rights. I mean, think of it this way, right? Name one policy that regulates my body as a man. Go ahead. You can't. You can't. Now, tell me, name one policy that regulates your body, because I can name multiple.
First, I truly believe that it's up to the state to decide.
It's up to the state to decide if you're equal to that of a man. Okay. What an odd way to... Wow.
Can you define what a woman is?
Are you a woman?
I am a woman.
There you go. I just defined it.
Your party.
Excuse me. Listen. I would love to talk about gender and all this and blah, blah, blah as much as the next guy, but I'm actually more curious about the question at hand. Again, you voted away the right to choose so that you could have less rights than that of a man, which is odd. Like, you want to be a sister wife, you want to be a handmaid, you do you. Listen. I will even give you a coupon to go get your red cloak and white hood steamed at the dry cleaners. But I'm just trying to understand, why would you want to drag down women across America with you? You voted away your right to choose. Fine, you do you. Why would you vote away the rights of women across America?
Well, first of all, your party doesn't know what a woman is.
My party?
Yes.
My party?
Yes.
What are we at? Like, what is this, like Chuck E. Cheese party of two? Like, no, focus on the question at hand. Again, I need you just to tell me, you dragged yourself down and you do you. Why are you dragging down the rest of women across America?
Women have more rights as everybody else. Okay.
They literally do not, because of you voted against their rights to choose. Huh? You just said that women have more rights than everybody else. Those words just came out of your mouth. In Kamala Harris's America, the America I voted for, Kamala Harris's America, women and men would be equal. In the America that we will now be living in, the America that you voted for, men have more rights than women, which is exactly why we can name policies that regulate a woman's right to choose, and yet when it comes to a man's right to choose, there's not a single policy that regulates him. That's not equal.
Hired a woman.
Do you know he hired a woman? Donald Trump hired a woman. Oh my gosh. Wow. Donald Trump hired a woman. Oh gosh, that means he's not sexist at all. Gosh, oh man, you're so right. I take it back. Donald Trump hired a woman, certainly not sexist. He has crumbled the patriarchy. He hired a woman. Okay, so you have less rights than that of a man. Why did you vote for that America to be a reality?
I just think Kamala Harris. I voted for Donald Trump because I didn't think Kamala Harris was qualified to run a country.
Felon.
So what?
I'm not done. Sexual abuser.
So what?
Still
He's
not
not
done.
a sexual abuser.
Civil fraudster, constitutional violator in accordance to his own Supreme Court's ruling. I'm not done. Maybe if my mouth was not moving, I'd be done, but it's moving, so I'm not done, right? Donald Trump, criminal, civil fraudster, felon, sexual abuser, constitutional violator. This man, insurrectionist, twice impeached. Oh yes, so qualified. District attorney, attorney general, led the largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice, senator and vice president, who gave you the Inflation Reduction Act, American Rescue Plan, and negotiated deals on the infrastructure package that is quite literally keeping your community afloat, especially California. So help me understand. She wasn't as qualified as him because what?
Whatever.
Oh, no, don't run away, hon. Tell me, how was she less qualified than him?
Well, if she was more qualified, she would have won the election.
No, because thankfully, right, for Donald Trump, unfortunately for us, the rest of America, there were just too many ignorant people like you. That's why Donald Trump won. It had nothing to do with qualifications. Ma'am? You voted against your own interests. Congratulations. And yet you're coming up here to say Kamala was less qualified, but you can't actually tell me how she was less qualified. How was Kamala less qualified than Donald Trump?
She wants universal health care, and the government should stay away from health care. So.
Oh, the government should stay away from healthcare? Let's talk about that. Have you seen the House Republican budget? I'm just kidding. I know you haven't. Judging by the rhetoric that's been coming out of your mouth, I'm sure you're following the Handmaid's Bible and like, oh no, you know how to read. So let me break it down for you, okay? The House Republican budget, endorsed by 80% of the House Republican caucus, meaning it's the proposal that they will endorse in the new year, is literally going to cut CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, by $4.5 trillion. So you're taking healthcare away from sick children. You just said that you shouldn't be touching healthcare, but that's what your candidate, that's what your president is looking to do. How is that? I mean, isn't that indirect contrast to what you just said? It must be hard, right? It must be really hard to get slapped down. I know that you're trying to run away from the channel here, but you can either come back in and do the walk of shame or shut down your phone entirely. My voice is still coming out of your cell phone as you frantically try to get my voice to stop coming out of your cell phone. You might as well get rid of Siri and call it Johnny from now on, because I'm here for the rest of your life. Again, you can either rejoin the live stream because you haven't left properly and do the walk of shame as I ring a cowbell, or you can shut down your phone entirely, in which case I'll still get a ton of pleasure out of that, knowing that that's 3 minutes of your life you're never getting back. Oh, there you go. She chose answer B, shut down her phone. That's 3 minutes of your life you're never getting back. I'm happy to take those from you. Call me AT&T. I'm going to eat up those minutes like Verizon. Let's get up our next guest.
Near construction.
Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Please do help us get to 100,000 likes. If you like what you're hearing today, feel free to hit that follow button in the top left corner and join our family. Hi, Avery.
Hello.
I am sure that this is going to be a productive conversation.
Yeah, you're a bit of a bully, aren't you?
I'm a bully?
Yeah.
Oh. I call it being Italian. So help me teach you something here, okay? And I, again, can explain this to you, but I can't understand it for you, so you're going to have to do half the work. But I know that's hard for you. So you look at Donald Trump and you're saying, Johnny's the bully. Who's the bully? The one who violated the Constitution? Because that wasn't me, that was him. Who's the bully here? The one who stripped transgender Americans out of the military? Because that was Trump, not me. Oh, who's the bully? The one who overturned the right to choose of women? A decades fought fight, 50 years law of the land. Was that me? No, that was Trump. Right. So by the logic of every single American, Donald Trump would be the bully. Oh, but Johnny, you're holding us accountable for our ignorance, so you're the bully. Oh, gosh darn it. Be so real with me. No. So let's start off here and let's look no further than what I asked the last guest before they ran away, okay? Thank you for coughing on me. So let me ask you this. The House Republicans put forth a budget that was endorsed by 80% of their caucus. That budget is going to cut Social Security and disability benefits in its entirety. You understand that? It's cutting 1.5 trillion out of the pot, and lo and behold, what's left in the pot of Social Security? 1.5 trillion. It's going to cut corporate taxes, income taxes, individualized income taxes, and the Social Security tax. Donald Trump, who was running around saying, hey guys, we're going to cut your Social Security taxes. Fun fact, he was tricking elderly Americans into thinking that he was cutting the taxes they pay when they collect Social Security, when actually he's cutting my taxes that I pay to fund Social Security. So he's cutting all these taxes that feed into Social Security, which is going to strip that benefit away from elderly Americans, disabled Americans, and veterans. So what is your message to them now that you have screwed them over?
Oh, am I able to talk now?
Let me think about it. If I let you speak, I'm going to have to hear that voice. And I don't know I want to do that for 15 minutes. But if I don't, could miss an opportunity to school you. Let me think. Okay, commence.
Okay, so this is exactly why you're a bully. You just spoke for a very long time with absolutely zero regard for anything that anybody with an opposing viewpoint has to say.
It's not an opposing viewpoint. We don't have opposing viewpoints. Let me make something very clear. An opposing viewpoint, we can disagree on policy. We're not disagreeing on policy.
We will disagree on policy.
No, hon. Let's make something clear. Let's make something clear. You say that it's, a disagreement on policy and that, I oppose your viewpoint. No, hon. I have voted for Democrats. I have voted for Republicans. Never would I vote for Donald Trump, because that's no longer about a disagreement. That's no longer about a difference in viewpoints. If your viewpoint is that women are less than equal to that of a man, if your viewpoint is that transgender Americans do not have the right to live true to themselves, if your viewpoint is that elderly Americans shouldn't be allowed to collect their right, that right being Social Security, then that's not a difference in viewpoints. That's me believing in humanity and you being inhumane. Okay? All right, just thought you should get that lesson straight here. Stop victimizing yourself, right? You are not the victim in any sense here. You understand? You voted away the rights of women. You voted away the rights of transgender Americans, LGBTQ plus Americans, Black Americans, middle class Americans, those collecting Social Security, those on disability, veterans. You voted away all their rights, and now you're coming up here to say that you're the victim because I'm holding you accountable. Okay, bite me. I don't care. So can you just hurry up and respond to what I just said surrounding Social Security and the cuts you're looking to make in accordance to the House Republican budget? Hurry up.
You love the sound of your own voice. The reason I voted for
So
Donald
much. I wish that you sounded more like me. Then maybe you would have a little bit more intelligence. But clearly, you were
and you're
not
not a
blessed the
bully.
same.
And you're not a bully. So I voted for Trump.
How's that
because
bullying?
I care about border security. Under the Biden-Harris
Just an
administration,
observation.
Under the Biden-Harris administration, child trafficking at the
You
southern
didn't.
border.
Okay,
nearly
ma'am. You
tripled.
didn't respond. You didn't
Has
respond.
tripled.
That's not true. But you also
Tripled.
didn't
Yes,
respond.
it
I
has.
appreciate the pivot. You did not respond. So again, first off, BS. That was a blatant lie. Second, that was a pivot. I need you to tell me, what are you going to do? And I hear your voice shaking. I hear you getting aggressively fast. That's because you're nervous. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I'm speaking.
Every single
Pick yourself
time
up by the
you just muted me.
bootstraps. And I just did it again. Look at that. So pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I need an answer regarding what I mentioned surrounding Social Security. You're cutting $4.9 trillion out of the Social Security taxes, and then you're cutting $1.5 trillion out of the pot. You're leaving nothing for those collecting Social Security. And I'm sure that all those who are collecting Social Security and about to lose it would love to hear you go on your rampage, your tantrum, but we don't have time for that, right? Because the clock is...
It's pretty standard. Yeah, this one specifically doesn't have one. No. Mm-mm.
He actually wouldn't. Unmute. Why didn't that work? Unmute? I thought that all Trumpers unmute after you clap twice. I thought if you just clap twice, Trumpers do whatever. Oh, there we go. It worked. Hurry up, respond. Julia, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. That is beyond kind. Julia wanted me to tell you that she hates you, Avery. So let's get back into it.
You are
So
the
can you
biggest
just,
bully.
excuse me,
You
can you
don't
just
listen to a single
respond?
thing
Can you
other than-
respond to the Social Security claim or not? Oh
I
my
would love to
gosh.
respond to the Social Security claim.
You
after
truly-
I
do you
talk
genuinely
to
think you're the
about
victim in
why
this?
the Biden-Harris administration was an
No,
epic
okay,
fail.
that's not going to
What
work.
was Biden?
We're going to move on to the next guest if you don't stop. This is my last time asking you. If you're a runner and you want to, run your miles, you do you, but you're not going to do it on my live stream. Again, without pivoting, I need you to respond to what I said surrounding Social Security. If you can't, then concede. That's simple. If you can't, concede. Don't pivot. I don't pivot. Maybe you'll learn that. Unmute and respond. If you can't, concede. Got it? I'm going to get my cowbell ready because I know where this is going. You guys in the chat, you already might want to prep those cow emojis. Oh, and there she goes. I think she's running away. Notice how I knew exactly where this was going? Ma'am, unmute. If you can't answer, just concede. It's not that hard. She's a runner. She's a track star. Can you unmute? Let's go. Come on. I need a response. There you go. Congrats. So tell me again, Social Security, you're cutting it. How are you going to ensure that elderly Americans don't go homeless after you take away their economic lifeline?
Who is taking what policy? Give me the exact policy.
The House
that is taking
Republican
away-
budget. It's their budget proposal.
Their budget
It was put
proposal.
forth in March
Under
and
Trump.
reintroduced.
By who?
Yes. Are you listening?
By-
May
okay.
I respond? I'm trying to respond and you keep cutting me off. It's
Like
crazy.
muting someone's
Oh
mic.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Like muting someone's mic. That's all you do. You just
Anyway,
yap, 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 yap,
listen,
yap.
listen,
You cannot
listen,
debate.
listen.
It's actually quite sad
Ma'am, I'm trying to
have
help you.
Such a restricted viewpoint.
So anyway, that was a public service. Listen very closely. Again, you were cutting Social Security, and if you were listening instead of speaking, you would have understood already what policy I was speaking on, and that policy being the budget proposal. Understood? I get that you're big mad and you genuinely think that you're the victim in this somehow, as you MAGA Republicans always seem to think you are. The actual victim here are the elderly Americans who are about to lose their Social Security. So this is my final time asking you, and if you do not respond to this, then you concede. And I'm not asking you to tell me you concede. It's just the fact that you concede if you don't answer, and we'll move on. And that's good enough for me. Clearly. So you just muted yourself. My hands are here. I didn't mute you, right? Now you're gaslighting. Tell me again, what is your response? Excuse you. What is your response to those who are collecting Social Security in which you're about to strip it away? Go ahead.
No one's stripping away any Social Security.
I just explained exactly how they are. I just explained exactly how they are.
That's what you
okay,
are
look it
wrong
up.
and you're
Look it
lying.
up. Look it up. Oh, Sonia, thank you so much for the $5. Yes, Sonia wanted me to tell you. It says $5. Please tell Avery I hate her. Thank you, Avery, for being so hateable. It's because of you I made $25. So thank you. Anyway, waiting for her to get a source. Hurry up, Avery.
Hello.
I hear you speaking, but I don't hear you researching. So you're going to want to go back and get the information you need. You kind of do. Did you research the budget?
The GOP budget?
Correct, in the House.
I've read it. Yeah, I've read both budgets actually because
You
I
actually
tried
haven't because you just told me that it wasn't going to cut Social Security, but we know for a fact it's cutting, for example, $1.2 trillion out of Social Security taxes. Yes or no? You said you read the budget. Yes or no? Is it going to do that?
I don't have a photographic memory.
I'm sorry. You have to. You can't just read something once and remember it. That's so sad.
I'm going to be mad until I can't retire until
So listen
80,
very
but I'm
close to me,
retired.
okay? Again, $400 billion coming out of corporate income taxes, $1.9 trillion out of individualized income taxes, $1.2 trillion out of Social Security taxes, $1.5 trillion out of the pot. In total, after all tax cuts aside, you're going to be looking at like $7 trillion coming out of Social Security. That's all of Social Security. So you're cutting it. And if you need time to go confirm and fact check me on that, feel free to do so. I can even provide you with a link for the budget if you don't have it, but you said you've read it, so I assume you do have it. Feel free to fact check me. But point being, what are you going to do to support those who are elderly Americans, disabled, or veterans who rely on Social Security? You're taking it away. What's your solution for them? Okay, I think she's researching, but I'm sure she's probably running away, but we'll give her 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guest, come back in. You have 3 seconds to come back in, or else I'm moving on to the next guest. In 3, 2, there you go. Good girl. So respond. And she's out again. Ma'am, if you want to read from ChatGPT, you can't scroll in and out of your phone. It tells us, like TikTok tells us when you're trying to read a script. Do you understand?
I'm not reading
so
a
respond.
script. Do you understand? I'm not reading a script.
Respond.
There's what Social Security is being cut, honestly.
I just responded. Somebody drop a 20 and I'm more than happy to drop this one. I really don't care. But until then, I'm going to keep playing with the food. Listen very closely. I already explained to you what the tax cuts were, and I also explained to you what the cut to the Social Security pot was. I, again, can explain something to you, but I cannot understand it for you. You have to do at least half the work here. Got it? So
you're
now
not a bully?
respond. You're such a victim mentality.
I'm really not.
Crazy. Yeah, no, you really are. Who'd you get
really
it from?
not. Pardon?
Your daddy? No, he probably left when you were young. Mommy? You got it from mommy?
You're an angry person, aren't you?
Not really.
Sounds like it.
I feel pretty happy.
Angry people don't attack people.
It's not
For,
an
like, no
attack. It's just
reason.
an observation, hon. It's not that hard, right?
People that actually want to learn, listen to opposing
I
viewpoints.
can't
We're
learn
too
anything
curious
from
as
you.
to why I
Excuse me.
voted
Let
for
me make
Donald
something
Trump.
clear. You just said people who want to learn listen. I don't want to learn from you. Trust me. If I wanted to learn how to be
You don't know anything about
me, I don't want to learn from you because there's nothing to learn from you. If I wanted to learn how to be a handmaid, I would go watch television. I don't want to learn about that from you. You do you. You pick the life you want to live. If you want to be a handmaid, that's fine, but don't drag down the rest of women across America with you. Got it?
Okay, I'm 28. I'm retired.
Congrats, you're 28 and retired. Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. That is so wonderful. Now you think as though you have to prove yourself to me. I don't care how much money
No,
you have. I don't care what your age is. I care that women across America have equal rights, and you're up here trying to prove yourself
I
to
care.
justify why you voted against their right to
care about-
choose. You do you, boo, but the fact of the matter is my statement stands. If you want to drag down women across America, don't do that. If you want to drag down yourself, feel free to do so. I'll even iron your cloak and robe as you become a handmaid for you. More than happy to. Call it my
How am I
public
dragging
service.
down women across
You
America?
couldn't tell me what your message is to those who you're trying to steal Social Security from, and I'm supposed to act as though I can have an intelligent conversation with you.
Because I'm not trying to
I've
steal
had
any
more
Social
productive
Security from anyone.
conversations. Excuse you,
Nor any
Michael. Thank you so much for the $5 in Venmo.
But please
Michael
tell me
wanted me
why,
to tell
how.
you that he hates you. I have had more more productive conversations with the clown at Perkins.
Please explain to me
Gotta love macaroni.
how I voted against women.
You know very well how. You tell me. You tell me.
You're the one who loves to hear yourself talk.
You know very well how you voted against the right to women. So you tell me.
I didn't. I mean, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't vote against the right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, yeah, totally.
What was Kamala going to do? What bill was she going to get passed? You understand how long?
Gosh, you're so right. Oh my gosh,
What was she
so
going
right.
to do?
Let's
After Roe
talk
v. Wade
about
was overturned,
Kamala.
the president has
Even
nothing
though
to do with your
you're so
abortion
right.
rights.
Oh my gosh.
You
Oh my
realize that,
gosh.
right?
Yeah, you're so right. Let's talk about Kamala when you can't answer a simple question about what Donald Trump's budget proposal is going to do and how it's going to affect elderly Americans. You want to talk about Kamala because you spent so much time researching Kamala that you forgot to research Donald Trump and how he's screwing over elderly Americans, disabled Americans, and veterans. Now that I'm informing you about that, you don't know how to respond, so you're doing everything in your power to talk about Kamala Harris. Guess what, hon? Kamala Harris is not here to protect you. If you regret your vote, that's great. You know what? Good, I'm glad, but it's too late. So then let's better understand this. And I asked you 5 times. This will be my last time asking you. What? Oh, are you going to run away? I think she's running away. Let me get the cowbell. Oh, she's back.
What do you mean? Where does it keep running away?
Help me understand. You're taking away Social Security from elderly Americans. Do you comprehend that?
Again, help me understand how I voted against women.
Did you comprehend what I just said?
Did you comprehend what I'm saying?
Did you comprehend what I just said?
Do you comprehend what I just said? How
Ma'am,
is
it's a little
Kamala?
early
Answer
to be
your question.
sundowning, right? I mean, if you voted for Kamala, you might have the medication to treat your sundowning syndrome, but I mean, you voted for Trump, so you ain't gonna have that.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on to our next guest. We're gonna toss the, you know, sometimes you pick up trash out of the ocean. Sometimes it's best to just, you know, toss it right back in, right? You know, you ever go fishing and you accidentally pick up a bottle? Oh, by the way, that was for Vanessa. Vanessa dropped $20 to kick her. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for the love. She said, if she is still here, and she is still here because it says it. Vanessa wants me to tell you that she hates you. Anyway, Vanessa wants me to tell you that she hates you. Let's get up our next guest. This is fun. I'm having a good time. Are you guys having a good time? Are you guys having a great day? How we doing, everybody? Oh, Chris ran away. Chris joined and was like, never mind, and left ASAP. That was funny. Woo. Chris joined and then he ran away real quick. That's okay. I don't want to talk to him anyway. Hi. Hello? Okay, that was a lot. There's, at some point, you gotta stop. Like, at some point, you gotta put you first. I prefer puppies. I got a puppy. His name's Tad. He's great. I'm gonna stick with the puppies.
Hello.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice messaging system. Please hold for your call to transfer.
Oh, good. I am on. I was waiting for you to ask me why I voted for him. I didn't hear you say anything.
Hi, this is Johnny.
Hey, Johnny. I've been
Please
watching.
hold. Hi, how can I help you?
You're a scumbag.
Please hold. He ran away. Yo, you cannot troll a troll. Oh, let me tell you something. We got a runner. Yeah! Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner. Woo! I can't. That was phenomenal. You cannot. Oh, gosh. They really try to come up here and troll me, but they can't. His IP address was from Russia, guys. That's the only reason I did that. You can try, but you can't win. Hi, guys. Did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay, guess not. We're going to move on to our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request so that I can mock you. Talk to you so that I can talk to you. Give it a second before we get started. Let's get up our next victim. Guest! Oh my God. Guest. Our next guest. Let's get up our next guest so I can talk to them. Oh my gosh. Slowly but surely. Apparently I got them running. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm so nice. Why are they so scared to come talk to me? I'm such a nice guy. Guys, aren't I like really nice? I feel like I'm like the nicest guy out there. I don't understand what's going on. Why are they so scared to come talk to me? Hurts my feelings. Just kidding. I don't have feelings. Slowly but surely gonna get up our next guest. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? Okay, next up. Sometimes silence is better, I'll be honest.
Hello?
Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
Please hold. Oh,
Not.
you have an ad.
This is how AI optimizes my skin.
Here, I got a different one for you. Please hold.
Sounds good.
Okay, hi. How can I help you? This is Johnny.
Hi, how you doing?
Please hold.
I leave quite an impression.
5 feet to be exact. You're wondering why half is closed when missing my body's where they're at. I'm back. Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, how you doing today?
Depends. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
Okay, not so good then. Why'd you vote for a criminal, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, felon, somebody who quite literally violated the Constitution? And that's not me saying it, that's his own Supreme Court saying it. Why'd you vote for somebody who buried his wife on a golf course?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I don't think he's the greatest person in the world. I think
he's
there's a lot
not
wrong with
actually,
him.
not
Yeah, no,
only is he
I
not the
agree.
greatest person in the world, he is
Yeah.
just not a good person.
No, I can totally agree with you, but I mean, I see my flaws in Kamala as well.
I'm sorry. Kamala's flaws have nothing to do with Donald Trump's flaws. Kamala has a out of place hair, and you guys are like, burn the witch! Donald Trump, on the other hand, rapes a woman, and you guys are like, "Ugh, he's just like the rest of us.
Okay, you can't associate exactly me with like the group that comes out on like TikTok. Just like I'm not going to associate you with like Washington trying to take kids away that don't want to be or that are trying to be transgender. Right? I'm not gonna associate you with that blue side, right? I'm gonna associate you with just trying
What
to
do
be
you
respectful.
mean? What are you talking about? Every day I start my day with first having an abortion. And then because I love going to the abortion clinic, I do a buy one, get one. So I treat myself. And then after that, I go about my day indoctrinating everybody else. You know, that's what I do. I mean, chat, don't we all do that? I feel like, isn't that what we do? Like that's what we do, right? And then after that, you know, we typically spend our days doing what we always do. You know, we go to the football game, but we don't watch football. Instead, we bring a classroom of children there and we dress up in drag and read them a story.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question. So what
Anyway,
was
I get to ask
Kamala-
you a question. That's called life. So first and foremost, when you step into my live stream, you're going to wipe
For
your
sure.
feet off
No,
at the
yeah.
virtual doormat,
Hey, I will
right? So
respect
do
it.
that,
I'm
and
in your
then
life.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'm going to go about my conversation here and ask
Hey,
you
go
a
ahead.
question.
Go
So
ahead.
first and foremost, we're not going to bring up Kamala, and why? Because Kamala Harris, right, is not going to be the president. So we need to talk about what your president's looking to do. Let's start off with immigration. You understand he wants to implement mass deportation, correct?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
Mexican.
Then help me better understand this. He, in Florida, Ron DeSantis, signed SB 1718, which is a mass deportation bill. This cut 40% of farmers out of the agricultural industry and led to a workforce development crisis. Ron DeSantis has lost $13 billion in his GDP in the month of October alone. Well, $12.6 billion to be precise.
Yeah.
Give or take a couple million. Then you have to better understand this. If you implement this policy nationally, economists say it's going to lead to a $300 to $450 billion decrease in our annual GDP, and 40% of farmers are going to get deported across the country. So here's the issue. One, how are you going to ensure that generational farmers don't go bankrupt as 40% of their workforce is depleted? And how are you going to reach and support them during that workforce development crisis? Then furthermore, as the GDP collapses by $450 billion, how are you going to ensure that we don't dive into a recession? Before you say, well, we just want a legal pathway to citizenship, and I'm sure you would, I'm going to stop you there. The Farm Workforce Modernization Act was introduced by Democrats. Republicans blocked it. That would have accomplished the legal pathway to citizenship. You don't want a pathway to citizenship. You don't want migrants here whatsoever, legally, illegally, undocumented, documented, however you want to call it. So Respond to what I said about the workforce development crisis, then respond to what I said about the GDP collapse.
Okay, so I really don't see how that they would bankrupt the farmers, because I mean most farmers have equipment to grab like corn. Let's say there's harvesters. Obviously, we're not just talking about corn. We're talking about oranges and everything. I've been out there to Cali where I can see that the immigrants are out there picking in the fields. I understand that. I see busloads going.
Florida.
So, like,
we're not talking about California. And I like that you use California as your example. California has the 5th largest economy in the world. They're not going to rely on undocumented labor. Florida does rely on undocumented labor. Their economy's crumbling. And yet Ron DeSantis cut off his nose to spite his own face. And in Florida, a Republican state where you were hiring undocumented migrants, you are now not doing that. Neither are you letting them back in legally. You're crumbling your own economic infrastructure, and you cut your workforce in agriculture by 40%. What is the solution?
Okay, well, I had just brought up Cali because that's where I've been.
What is
to
the
see.
solution?
I don't think that they're going to deport as many as you
They
think.
did it
I
in
understand
Florida.
that. I understand
They already
that in
did
Florida.
it. This is the same
Florida's-
policy that Donald Trump is introducing nationally. So it's not a hypothetical, right?
Right.
It's not a hypothetical. So tell me, what's the solution? I didn't ask you what you think they are going to do,
the
because I
solution
already
is
know
gonna
what
be
they're going to do.
To give a pay raise and bring more people to work there.
Okay, what's the pay raise?
Well, pay more for employees.
Yeah, what is
so
it?
That way, I don't know. Whatever they
What do you mean you
choose
don't
to
know?
be. Whatever the minimum wage
Okay,
is going
the
to be.
minimum
over
wage
there.
is $7.25. Which it hasn't been. It hasn't. Pennsylvania is a perfect example. $7.25.
What the fuck?
West Virginia, and most states, it's still $7.25. They haven't increased it since 2008. You understand that? That's your party. The Republican Party has not increased the minimum wage in decades.
Okay.
Democrats have tried, and in many Democratic states, the minimum wage is even more than double that. But those are Democratic states, and not a single Republican state is the minimum wage higher than that federal
in both
$7.25.
of Obama's terms, they didn't raise it at all.
Because Republicans wouldn't allow him to.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I would say that they were that my fix, because you're asking me. I'm not over here in politics, like in the actual offices or anything. I would say that they're going to have to raise pay.
And yet, that's not the plan. So now you're going to cause them a workforce development crisis, cutting the workforce in agriculture by 40%. What's your solution? By saying, oh, you know what? You're going to increase the minimum wage. Okay, that's a nice and dandy thought, except it's not what they're doing. So I'm asking you, what is your party looking to do? If you don't know, then say that. I'm not looking for your personal opinion, because that's redundant.
Yeah, then I don't know. No, yeah, respectfully, no, I don't know.
So you came up here to have a conversation with me, and yet you don't actually know what your party is
said-
pursuing, or what they are accomplishing, or how you're going to solve a crisis they're looking to establish. Let's
know
move
what
on
they're
to the
going-
next point.
I
Thank
know
you
what
very
they're
much. I don't need to hear the
going
upbringing. I don't need the Disney Channel saga. I just
Bro,
don't
you're
care,
a
right?
little fucking
Blah, blah,
wild,
blah,
dude.
blah, blah. Hold on.
Love you, dude.
Blah,
Gotta
blah,
love
blah,
you, dude.
blah, blah.
Love you,
Okay,
dude.
listen.
I
Ew,
love
you don't
you,
got to
homie.
be crushing on me. Listen, if you're interested, you do you. I ain't interested right back, okay? Calm down. You're running around. I love you. What the? Huh? That was, no. That was some deep sundowning. Let's get up our next guest. I didn't need all that. I appreciate the love, but no thank you. I would kindly like to return. Just, you keep it. I don't need it. Give it to someone else. Nasty. Let's get up our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please keep hitting the like button, hit the share button, help us get to 300,000 likes. Hi, Mildred. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
No.
Thank you. Thank you for being, normal. Let's get up our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request so that I can have a conversation with you. It'll be really productive and certainly not embarrassing for you at all. We love Mildred. Gotta love Mildred. I knew it. Mildred came up and I was like, I got a feeling that Mildred didn't vote for Donald Trump. She seems like, you ever you look at somebody and you immediately can tell when they have intelligence? I got that from Mildred. And I was like, there's no way that Mildred voted for Donald Trump. Jacqueline, hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I don't know if it's all of America, but from what I've seen,
Jacqueline.
Most stores, say you go to the Kmart there, it's...
Okay, let's move on. Got my tinfoil hat ready. Hi. Or are you running away too? My hands are here. I ain't mute you.
Hey Dad, really quick, I'm looking at the desk that
You vote for Trump?
On upper X in the park.
Okay.
But,
He's just farting his life away.
Assembled it, so
You're average Trumper.
we found
Just full of a bunch of gas. I ain't ever met a Trump supporter that's not just a head full of air.
No,
You guys thought the farts were coming from down there. No, he just took his ears and he was going like this, and the air from the brain was coming right out. All right, let's get up our next guest. Slowly but surely.
No, it's a nice desk though, but
Hi.
Hi.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the chat. Hi, chat. I love you guys. Guess, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I didn't. I just wanted to.
Oh, no, I was going to start roasting you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I just wanted to come up and say thank you because you're the reason that my fiance voted for Harris.
Oh, that's amazing to hear.
I just recently moved to Washington. I am originally a Canadian citizen, and he voted for Harris because of you. So I wanted to say thank you.
That's amazing to hear. Well, thank you so much for saying that, for coming in. I appreciate it. I hope that you folks have a good weekend. Thank you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad she was like, no, I was ready to start roasting. I was like, whew. Sorry, folks. Sometimes it's all about sometimes you just friendly fire. I was like, ha! Hi, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
36.
When were you born?
1988.
Haha, you're old. So why'd you vote for the criminal, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon?
You're forgetting things.
Oh, right. Buried his wife on a golf course.
What about the constitutional violator?
Sorry. Did I not just ask you why you voted for him? You seem to be sundowning. Can you get back on it? Again, I get you're old, but you're not that old.
You said he was a constitutional violator.
Can you just respond to what I said? Why'd you vote for the criminal? I never said he's a constitutional violator. You just said that.
But you're getting
right.
to it. I'm gonna speak, and you're gonna say you're not done, and you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, constitutional
I
violator."
didn't say that yet. How long have you been watching me for? It's kind of creepy.
Like 10 minutes.
I did not say that in the past 10 minutes. So you've been listening in for well over an hour, and you do you, boo. But I'm just trying to figure out why you voted for the criminal, not why you've been stalking me.
You violated the Constitution.
I'm just curious why you voted for the criminal. This is my last time asking you before I move on to the next guest. You've been waiting an hour to talk to me. Is this really how you want to spend it?
Because I don't frame your view of him as a criminal the way I do.
2.
I don't agree with him being a criminal because he did not violate.
Oh, I'm sorry. And you're relevant to that. You're relevant to that conversation because he actually is a felon ruled by 34 felony counts by unanimous jury that his own lawyers appointed. Like, do you recognize Donald Trump paid Republican lawyers to appoint a jury, and they also dismissed jurors that they disagreed with, including one woman who literally just had blue hair, and they said that was too much. So yeah, his jury was hand selected.
So
they still found him unanimously guilty
because he paid the porn star, right?
No, this was falsifying business records, checks, and statements.
Related to paying the porn star.
Sure, I mean, if that's what you want to call it.
That's not what I'm calling it. It's called legal statute.
Listen,
That's
my
why he
guy,
was
you
charged.
do you. I'm just trying to understand why you're saying he's not a felon, but the justice system says he is a felon. And
You're
the
saying
jurors
he's
say
a
he is a
felon.
felon. Oh, and
I'm
the
telling you-
attorney
I'm
says he's a
telling you why the
felon.
justice system-
Are you an attorney?
I'm telling you why the justice
Are you an
system by
attorney?
statute paid
Excuse
him.
you, are you an attorney?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well then, guess what? Your opinion's redundant. And
No,
even if
I'm
you
just-
were an
I'm
attorney,
looking-
let me make something clear. Your opinion still would be redundant because you weren't prosecuting this case. So if I wanted to hear some nonsense from somebody who's irrelevant, I would go watch the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. But instead, I'm going to
Absolutely.
actually
That was
converse.
garbage.
Excuse you. I'm going to converse here a little bit about your ignorance. Can you just tell me once more why you voted for a criminal, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, and felon? Go ahead.
Because I don't agree that those are relevant to his service as a president.
It literally is. Because fun fact, a felon is going to continue committing crimes even when they're in office, like his quid pro quo with President Zelensky, where he told Zelensky of Ukraine, hey, you go investigate my political opponent, Joe Biden, or I'm going to withhold aid from Ukraine. That's a crime. And yet criminals commit crimes.
That's all on record. Biden did the exact same thing related to Hunter Biden. That's all on record.
No.
The FBI has it all on record.
No, that was a lie.
And you also told everybody
Prove
that
it.
the
Give me
minimum,
a source.
Florida minimum wage is $15
Excuse
an hour,
you.
too,
Source.
by the way.
Source of that pun.
The FBI. I'm like, hello.
The FBI. That was your source.
Yeah, the ones that lied.
Here's what we're gonna do. Again, you haven't given me a actual reason as to why you were voting for Donald Trump. You said because you don't think he's a criminal, which isn't a coherent reason as to why you would vote for somebody. And then you were giving your opinions as to why he's not a criminal. But let me be very clear in case I wasn't already. Your thoughts on the matter are completely irrelevant and redundant because, you're not a prosecutor. You're not a juror. You had nothing to do with the case. So I'm going to trust those who prosecuted the case far more than I'm going to trust you, who's probably the product of your brother and sister. Getting back into it, though, I have a question for you, and I would love to ask that question whenever you're ready. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Okay. So is your mom and dad related, or your grandma and grandpa?
I had a black mother and a white father.
Gotcha. So your grandma and grandpa?
What do you mean?
Like, were your grandma and grandpa related?
No.
Oh, okay. I just assumed.
But
I know
wanted
that
to
sometimes
address-
that can affect.
I just came in here because I wanted to address your comment.
And I just wanted to address that I understand sometimes it's a cognitive issue. So I didn't want to judge you for this blatant lack of intelligence if it were, based off of keeping it in the family tree. I know that sometimes you MAGA Republicans like to keep it in the family tree, so I won't judge. You do you. So it's not your grandma and grandpa related or your mom and dad. I got to assume somewhere there. I mean, somebody's related to somebody up there, right? So anyway, Smooth Brain, let's get back into this. One more time. Can you just tell me one economic policy that Donald Trump wants to pass that will benefit middle-class Americans whenever you're ready?
Anything related to tax cuts benefits the middle class.
Wrong.
Like, I don't get it. Like, you don't want to have a conversation.
That works, right? That's not how that works. And again, you're not actually having a coherent or intelligent conversation. I mean, I'm getting ready for the F slur, right? Like, this is just, you're going to dump that and run away, right?
I don't
This
do
is what you
business
normally
like
do.
that.
Sure. I called you out. I'm well aware where this was going because you don't have the intelligence to actually converse with me. I asked you for an economic policy that Donald Trump wants to pass that will benefit middle-class Americans, and your answer was anything that has to do with taxes will benefit them. That is not how it works. For example, Donald Trump implemented the Tax and Jobs Act of 2017, which gave a 14% corporate tax deduction and yet only 1 to 2% to the middle class. The temporary tax deduction for middle-class Americans expires next year, while the corporate tax deduction lasts forever. Not to mention this led to an $8 trillion debt, and who's paying off that debt? The middle class. So the pennies that got tossed at them is nothing in comparison to the money they're losing out of pocket. Not to mention the 14% corporate tax deduction led to the empowerment of greedflation, which we know is the responsibility that led to, for example, higher costs at the grocery store, not the responsibility of Joe Biden. So Joe Biden, right, has inflation at 2.1% today, while if you go to the grocery store, costs are actually at double-digit percentiles at 22%. That being right there is because of Kroger is price gouging. PepsiCo is price gouging, right? Kellogg's, price gouging. Lay's potato chips, price gouging. More air in the bag, more expensive. Price gouging. That's because of Donald Trump. That didn't benefit the middle class. The $8 trillion debt that the 14% corporate tax deduction didn't benefit the middle class, but you just said that anything that has to do with taxes benefits the middle class. Or how about the tariffs, right? Donald Trump put a 15 to 25% tariff on agriculture, and this led to a $230 billion tax hike on middle class consumers. That has to do with taxes, and yet it didn't benefit the middle class. Look at that. So, like, am I supposed to converse with you as though we're on the same, like, intelligent level, or am I supposed to, what do I do here? Do I whip out my Blue's Clues notebook and write in my big little notepad that, he said taxes benefit the middle class completely? You know what taxes aren't going to benefit the middle class? For example, Donald Trump is going to cut the income tax, Social Security tax, and corporate income tax. That is going to cut $4.9 trillion from the Social Security pot. How does that benefit those who are collecting Social Security? Because there are countless elderly Americans and disabled Americans who are middle class, and yet they depend on Social Security as an economic lifeline. How are you going to support them?
Well, you think he's cutting it, and he's not.
No, he is.
He's not.
No, he is.
So you're talking about
the House Republican budget endorsed by 80% of House Republicans. Excuse you. Take a step back. Listen, hon. So how much money is in the Social Security pot as we speak?
That's not how Social Security works.
Excuse me. No, it literally does. So I'll explain how Social Security works. Right now, it's a
Oh my
pay-it-forward
gosh.
system, right? It's a pay-it-forward system. The money that has gone into the Social Security pot has been depleted by Republican administrations over the past multiple decades. Right now, there is $1.5 trillion in the Social Security pot, and that is ironically exactly the number that Republicans want to pull out of it in accordance to the House Republican budget that they've put forth. Not to mention, again, it's a pay-it-forward system. So I pay a Social Security tax and an income tax. That goes towards Social Security for those folks who collected or are collecting Social Security, but had their money that they paid into it long stolen decades ago by Ronald Reagan, for example. So I'm paying for them. Someday, somebody younger will pay for me. But Donald Trump is saying, we're going to cut that. We're not going to do the pay-it-forward system anymore. Cut the corporate tax, income tax, Social Security tax. That is going to cut Social Security's lifeline. Then those who are collecting will have to rely on the pot. But lo and behold, again, you're cutting it all out of the pot, so there's nothing left for them to take from. So I'm going to get a tax cut, which will be pennies in comparison to Donald Trump's tariffs. It really won't make a difference, right? I'm going to pretty much
If any of that
be
was what
exactly
the
as I
budget
am.
said.
Excuse you. I'm not done speaking. So that is going to cut Social Security for those who are elderly, disabled, and also veterans who rely on it for disability benefits. So help me understand, if you're saying that that's not what the budget says, line it up with the source. I'll wait.
This is how
Another
AI
ad. Gosh darn it.
Let me know when you're done lying, and I'll clarify for your
Lying?
viewers.
Hun, here's what we're going to do. We're not going to run around telling me that I'm lying about something that is easily searchable on Google.
I'm reading
I
the
just
budget.
told you to get me a source.
I'm
Get me
reading
a
the
source.
budget.
Same.
And the budget says
Excuse me.
$1.5 trillion cut.
Nope. I'm going to read it word for word. Like, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. You're not going to come into my live and tell me I'm lying. So I'm going to pull up the budget right now and I'm going to read directly from it. Okay. This is available on the White House's website. Okay. The URL. Ready? URL, whitehouse.gov/briefing room, statements releases, 2024, House Republican budget. Calls for $1.5 trillion in cuts to Social Security. Raises the retirement age to 69 and cuts disability benefits. Raises Medicare costs for seniors by taking away Medicare authority to negotiate prescription drug costs, repealing the $35 cap on insulin and the $2,000 out-of-pocket cap in the Inflation Reduction Act. Cuts Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, the CHIPS Children's Health Insurance Program by $4.5 trillion over 10 years, taking coverage away from millions of Americans, eroding care for seniors, children, and people with disabilities. And taking us back to the days where people could be denied care for pre-existing conditions. I'm not done. Scrolling down a little bit. Backed by the U.S. Federal Revenue and U.S. Federal Reserve, also with support from the Treasury Department. In recent years, the U.S. federal government has raised roughly $4.9 trillion in total revenue annually for Social Security. Of this, $2.6 trillion comes from the individual income taxes, $400 billion comes from corporate income taxes, and $1.2 trillion from Social Security taxes, all of which are getting cut in this policy. Donald Trump is looking to replace the $4.9 trillion with $90 billion, which isn't even 1/10 of a trillion, through tariffs. So according to this budget, Donald Trump is looking to cut Social Security and then replace it with $90 billion from his tariffs, which is pennies. 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 And again, for anybody who would like to fact check me, because again, I'm not going to have this guy who's running around saying that Donald Trump, for example, isn't a felon, come on here and act as though he knows better. Look up whitehouse.gov/briefing room. The entire policy is on that government website. Like, this guy up here is going to tell me, Johnny, that's not true. First off, the fact you're telling me it's not true, but like, here's my issue, right? You're telling me it's not true. I just got right into the policy and I read it word for word. If you're telling me that's not true, then I'm not going to let you speak, because that is not, like, you're blatantly lying, right? Like, you saying it's not true is a blatant lie. Do you understand? Because again, this is available online. Anybody can look this up. But anyway, thank you, Zach. Let's get some thank you, Zachs, in the chat, because of you, I just had the opportunity to explain this. So thank you, Zach, for letting me explain it. I appreciate it. Let's move on to our next guest. That was insane. He's like, that's not true. Sir, again, the policy is available online. And I just read it word for word. So clearly it's true. Hello.
Hi, Johnny. I did not vote for Donald Trump, but I just wanted to tell you that your live literally got me through election night, and I was devastated, but you honestly helped me so much.
Oh, thank you so much
So
for
I
saying
just
that.
wanted to mix some positivity in there because I know you're dealing with a bunch of dumbasses. So thank
Listen,
you.
I'll tell you what. My ma used to tell me that I got a gift for making people smile, but I've changed it, and I have made it into a gift of making, Kamala supporters smile, and I do so by making Trump supporters frown, and that is, I think, my true gift. And so I'm going to continue spreading that gift. But anyhow, thank you so much for coming up. It was nice to meet you. I appreciate you
Nice to
taking the
meet you,
time.
Johnny. Thank you for everything.
Everybody's got a superpower. Some folks are athletic. Some folks can act. For me, I am good at making fun of Trumpers. It is a gift. And I have chosen to spread that gift all over this country. Oh, Kiki, there's a little bit of an echo. I gotta let you go. There's a bit of an echo there. You guys want to see me make somebody mad? Charles, that is beyond kind. Thank you so much, Charles, for the $50 on Venmo. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Okay. So to be clear, taking a step back. So something that I do, okay, this guest isn't coming up. Something I do, to be clear, is I find a way to trigger a Republican or a Trump supporter, right? When before I was like, oh, the guy was like, I'm 36. And I was like, that's old. That's not old whatsoever. 36, 40, 50, 60. That is not old. Kamala was 60. That's not old. I said that because I knew it would trigger him, and it did. That is why I do that. So to be clear, I do not think that's old whatsoever. Like, that's not old. If you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, that's not old, okay? To be clear, I did that solely to trigger him because I knew it would trigger him. For anybody who thought I was serious, please know that was to trigger MAGA Trumpers. And it worked. You guys are not old whatsoever. That is not old. Although, I mean, I'm in my 20s and I kind of feel old. I feel like, especially after these next 4 years, I'm going to be walking out of these next 4 years looking like I'm like 99. Oh gosh, we're about to have a really long 4 years. We're probably all going to be looking like we're 99 after this. Again, folks, to be clear, if I ever say something like that and you're like, that was mean, it's supposed to be, but know that I don't actually mean it. It is just to trigger them. Like I'm looking for the weakness, and it's like psychology. I'm looking for the weakness and then using it, right? The same way if somebody comes up and they're kind of homophobic, I'll be like, why are you trying to ask me out? Like it triggers them, and they can't, because they're so emotional, they don't know what to say after that, and it makes them delirious. So just so you know, that is why,
Hi.
Fetus deletus. Where's my wand? Fetus deletus! Let's get up our next guest. I'm sure that this one won't be a bot. Hi, you vote for Trump? And I was wrong, it is a bot. Let's get up our next guest. Vladimir Putin, get out of here. We're going to give it a moment. Again, if you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it, okay? We're going to give it another 10 seconds. We might need to do a live stream restart, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Shout out to our new subscribers. Queen, thank you so much. Forerunner, Tatiana, Pangs, thank you. Lisa, Charles, Anna, good to see y'all. Thank you for subscribing. Let's get up our next guest here. We're going to try one more, and then we'll probably have to do a live stream restart. Okay. And they're not coming up. All right, we're going to do a live stream restart. Actually, I think it's dinner time. Well, on the East Coast, it's about dinner time. West Coast, it's not exactly dinner time. Okay. What are your dinner plans? What are you guys all doing for dinner? You guys have dinner figured out yet? They got scared of the wand. Yeah, I agree, Jersey. I think they got scared of the wand. Meatloaf, chili, chipotle, chicken and dumplings, pizza, steak, chipotle, pasta. Pasta on a Sunday night, phenomenal. Somebody said nachos. Nachos? Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds so good. Anything unhealthy. Yep, twins. Domino's. That sounds good. They said I live alone. I never cook dinner. You know what? Good for you. Good for you. I try to cook as much as I can. I just wish I was better at it. Which I'll tell you now, my Nona would be flipping out because I just do not know how to cook. But like the Italian side of me is like, you're supposed to know how to cook. And I just don't. I just don't. Panda Express, top ramen, tuna casserole. Fish and grits, nice. I don't know what I'm going to have. Kimberly, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to our little family. I don't know what I'm going to have. Honestly, sometimes I do this thing where like I think so hard about like what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to make, and then I just eat nothing because I get so indecisive and I'm like, it's easier just to give up. Like, I just won't eat, you know? I do that far too often. Right? Okay, so it's not just me. I'm so indecisive. I'll tell you now, something I also do, if I ever go out to eat with friends or family, whatever they order, I will order. Like if they order something, if they're like, they go through the menu and they pick something, I will pick the same exact thing, made the same exact way, because I cannot make a decision when it comes to food. Like it all is so good, and so then I just give up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat what they're eating. Except this one time, have y'all ever had like beet salad? It's like Jell-O. It's like they take beets and they make it into Jell-O. And I'm with some friends, and one of my friends, she's like vegan, and like, you know, vegan food is really good sometimes. Like I love the Impossible Burger. This was not good. This was rank. This was disgusting. And so she gets a beet salad, and I got nervous. So the waiter goes to me, "Hey, what do you want?" And I go, "Beet salad." And it comes out, and it was red. It was like Jell-O. It was jiggling. And they come over, and I'm like, "This isn't a salad. What is this?" And they were like, "Oh, well, it's our interpretation of a salad." I was like, "There's no lettuce in it." And they were like, "Right, it's made with it's like pig fat." I'm like, "What do you mean pig fat?" I'm like, "Isn't she vegan?" Like, she was vegan. It was tasted like dirt. Exactly. It was really bad. Really bad. Really bad. So it was a concept of a salad, if you will. But you know. Hey, can I get your recommendation, by the way, on some props? So you know that we have the tinfoil hat, right? We have the chicken. We have Thing, which Thing does work. Oh, no, I guess not. Batteries are deceased. Thing? Oh, well, sad. We got our lights, because everybody knows that Trumpers love to hang Christmas lights, even though I'm sure that they'd rather Mike Pence. We have pearls, because Melania. We got a mini tambourine. We got our wig. Our tiny Trump hand, which is somewhere, and our cowbell. You got any recommendations on other accordion hands? I could get an accordion. What other props should I get? Oh yeah, I do have a wig. Yeah, I have my wig. So let me go a little. Where's my Trump hand? See, my issue is, well, my blessing, I guess, is that I'm Italian, and so I have Italian hands. So my hands are too big for Donald Trump's. But so I go like this, and I get a little China in Russia. You look at North Korea, everybody agrees, you know. I also had, my handcuffs. I have my handcuffs, because naturally, you know, you can't do a Donald Trump impersonation without handcuffs. I did, funniest thing, the other night on the live, I lost the key and I didn't realize that there was a button to uncuff. So I had put these on. I was talking to a guest and I put them on like this. I didn't know where the key was, but I also didn't want to look like an absolute fool saying, "Oh, I can't get the handcuffs off." I didn't know that there was a button. So for like an hour, I sat there with my hands down like this, frantically texting my friend on my other phone saying, "I don't know what to do." It won't come off. But yeah, there's a button on it. It just comes right off. I couldn't find the key. It turns out there is no key. I was really handcuffed for like a good solid hour during the live stream. Somebody said Timu self tanner. That's funny. That could work. That could be a good prop. Orange makeup, a baby bottle. Oh, a baby bottle. Diapers. Wait, these are good. Those are good. Baby bottle. What else was it? I wanted to get a plastic spine. That way when Trumpers come up and they don't have any spine, I could be like, here, take this one. I know that they would hate that. Whoopee cushion. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Or it's Kool-Aid. Oh, that's so good. Oh, somebody said the ear bandage. That's okay. That's good. A pacifier. Okay. Okay, Trumpers, don't get excited. We said pacifier, not pacify her. Calm down. I know that you Trumpers love doing your little insurrections. We were talking about a binky. Violin. Oh, a tiny violin. I could get the world's smallest violin. That's such a good idea. Oh, okay. You got the Melanie Martinez reference. All right, Gum new. Melanie Martinez, you got it. You got it. You know what's up. All right. These are good recommendations. I'm keeping a list. I'm going to get some of these. These are great. Thank you, folks, for the recommendations. And thank you so much for tuning into the live. I hope that you have a good dinner, a good night, a good start to your Monday. We're going to take a quick second and move on over into a sub-only live. Hi. I think we just got subs in here now. Hi, subs. Hey, guys. Never done this before. How we all doing? I think only subscribers can comment now. I think I just made us a subscribe. Oh, it's just our subs. Hi, guys. It's so good to see you. How we doing? Hey, Barbie. Hey, Andy. Hey, King T. Hey, Kelly. How we all doing? MT, hello. Hi, folks. Hi, Lisa. How you folks holding up? You guys doing good? Colleen, hi. Hey, Sage. How you folks doing? Orange jumpsuit for those days he breaks the law. Oh, that's such a good idea. Belladonna, that is such a good idea. I could get the orange jumpsuit, and then every time, because he's going to break the law a lot, I can wear the jumpsuit on the live. That's a good idea. Hi, Kiki. Hey, Yellow Chick. How we all doing? How you folks holding up? Lizzie, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to our little party. We got a little party going on. You know, I think that we got to do this every night going forward, like a little party, just a little thing. Did you guys do dinner yet? By the way, you guys eat? Oh my God, I sound like my Nona. I'm like, did you guys eat? You're looking too thin. She'd be very proud. Kiki, I would love to go to Panera with you. I'm down. Listen, if I still travel the country. I still do that all, going around, meeting voters and whatnot, preparing for the midterms. When I get back out there, I'm always ready to listen. You guys want to go to Panera? If I'm in the neck of your woods, let me get you Panera. Let's go to Panera. Gotta love Panera. Christine, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the little party we got going on. Spaghetti and garlic bread. Okay, garlic bread sounds so good.